Let's stand up and vote and take back this country now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm going to keep moving. You teach firefighters, first responders, all employed. I was able to get $140 billion in aid out to the states. Right here in Clark County, I was able to bring $1.2 billion to keep your economy going. We have that ability now. The House has already passed a similar piece of legislation. We started the longest sustained recovery in American history. But you know what Mitch McConnell said about helping the states? I'm not making this up. He said, let them go bankrupt. Let them go bankrupt. What the hell are you talking about? Folks, we're so much better than this. We can turn this crisis into progress. We can contain this virus and fully reopen our economy. We make up 4% of the world's population. And we have 20% of the world's deaths. We just follow the science. Expand testing and tracing, social distance, washing our hands, implementing nationwide mask mandates. Don't politicize the race for a vaccine, Mr. President. Just have a
here we are. It's Friday.
But they never get a job again.
Nancy and Biden are both having nose problems with their masks today.
Workers.
One is, and he's on a podium.
Hours,
I feel like he can lose the mask.
Lost their jobs entirely.
He's done. You should do that.
Roughly 700,000 people have dropped out of the labor force last month.
Yes, Nancy Pelosi is president if Trump and Pence both get too sick to work.
647,000 manufacturing jobs nationwide.
Oh yeah.
Since the crisis has started. And our balance of payments deficit are going up. Here in Nevada.
Tonight, I'm not really sure what we're gonna. By the way, I'll welcome to the show, everybody. Just us.
Hospitality is
just us right now. Welcome everybody. Oh, thanks to the new subscribers. Thanks everybody. The Patreon's been kicking. Thank you guys so much for your support. It's been wonderful. I'm sorry, the music's annoying. All right, I'll stop the music. Fine. I'm sorry. Okay, I was kind of talking over it. I get it. I'm an old subscriber. I understand. I know I was playing it in the background. I was talking over it. I thought it had kind of a, maybe it was too loud to go with the voice, and that was the issue. I'll work on it. Okay, I'm fine. All right. It's not a professional show in that regard, folks. I do not have a team of producers behind a wall or whatever. I'm pushing all these buttons myself. Damn it. What do you say there? The music's too loud. You rock and roll with your big fluffy hair. So I am now, I guess, Stuttering John's tech guru, and we set up a Patreon for him today, and so he called me, and he was having a rough go of it, setting it up, and he was like, "Can you help me out with this?" And I had my hair in a towel because it's just getting to that length. It's getting to the point where you need to put it up in a towel when it's drying, as opposed to just, fluff and forget. You know what I mean? Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. It's starting to get to the point where it's got, I wrap it up in a towel like a 80s rocker, backstage. And in so doing, I started to help him out on I was like trying to talk to him over the phone, and it was just not happening. So what I did was I said, I'm going to set up a Zoom meeting. Just sign on to the Zoom, and I'll help you out. So he signed on to Zoom, and then on Zoom you can take control of someone's desktop if they let you. If they give you permission, you can click around and go to their settings and do stuff while they watch. Which they still have control over their mouse. So if you started to go nuts, they could obviously rescind that privilege. But it's actually very useful. Anyways, long story short, too late. I had my hair up in a towel for far too long, so it's got this. It puffed forward, like the sides especially are just like, yeah. I look like Rick Springfield sometimes. Well, thank you. He's a very handsome man. Jesse is a friend. Yeah, I know he's been a good friend of mine. But lately something's changed. It ain't hard to define. Jesse's got himself a girl and I want to make her mine. That's a lot of syllables in a lyric. And he wanted so many. I'm not man bunning. He wanted so many syllables in that, when he got to the, and she's loving him with that body, I just know it. There was no way to do that. My hair is looking like Gene Simmons. My hair is looking like, well, it's just because his is supposed to be long and like that. It's just, my hair looks like what Gene Simmons wants his to look like. But also part of what you're seeing is the back of my seat, too. So it makes it look kind of weird. But it's all right. Get over it. Thanks for this. Look at that. We've already got a hype train going in the Twitch room and the people over at Facebook. Oh, wait, did I go live on Facebook? There we go. So, welcome everybody that's watching on Facebook. We're going live right now. Welcome. How are you? Good to have you with us. Behave yourself. If you could, please. It's not a lot to ask. Welcome. I've turned on comment moderation to some degree. And yeah. So yeah, there we go. Yep, they're all up. Good. Yay! We got Periscope working. We got all that stuff. Grow it out and get a perm for the Eddie Van Halen look. Well, I can't. I may grow it out and dye it blonde for the David Lee Roth look. Since we're nerd halening. You know what I mean? And then I might have to wear a short hair wig during the beginning of Nerd Halen, and then take it off, and yeah. Ever tried shaving your own hair? I do cut my own hair. I cut my own hair. I have for a long time. Unless I'm on a TV show and they cut it, and then you're like, all right, because it has to be the same all the time. If I don't care, if I just, decide I want it shorter or longer, all that kind of stuff, yeah, I'll do that. It's TMI. This is not important. We don't have to talk about this stuff. The president's about to get a colonoscopy live on television. I mean, they're going to... You realize what's going to happen? That reminds me I need to get a haircut, right? Uh-oh. Jillian got cut off from Twitter. Somebody's in Twitter jail. It looks like I don't cut my hair at all. I trim it and manage it. It's a good do. I mean, it's got shape to it. It's not just growing randomly. Come on. All right. This is getting too personal. It's not what the show is about. Are we going to see his butt? I hope not, because I already ate. Yeah, we have. Okay. You didn't come here for an argument. No, you didn't? Yes, I did. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. So Trump was on Rush Limbaugh today, and his choice of language was fun. We will keep an eye on. We'll be on Tucker watch for a bunch of this. Here we go.
If the Regeneron and the Lilly, comparable drug turns out
Okay, hang on. The what? Look, this cuts in the after the hellos. So the company's name is Eli Lilly.
But you know what? This is the biggest of all. If the Regeneron and the Lilly, comparable drug turns out,
Eli Lilly.
This is a cure. This is a therapeutic. Call it what you want. I can tell you, it's a cure. And
no, you can't.
I'm talking to you today because of it. And because I think I could have been a bad victim. I fit certain categories that aren't so great. Okay.
What
you
are
better
those?
be careful too. Okay, but you won't. I'm telling you, this is a total game changer.
Rush, he's obese.
It's so good. And nobody else would have had it. FDA is approving things in 1 week that used to take 3 years.
Yeah. Why do they take 3 years? To make sure that they don't have any long-term detrimental effects and end up killing people. Can you imagine Trump in the 60s on the phone arguing for thalidomide?
And that's only because I'm bugging them like crazy. I drive them crazy, I guess, but that's okay. But FDA, Food and Drug Administration, is approving.
Oh, that's what it means. I was way off.
Things that Rush would have taken years, and I'm getting them in a matter of weeks and months, and they're great things. But this is the greatest of them all if this works out, and
if it works out.
I'm very sure it's going to.
You're very sure. He's very sure. He's almost as sure as he was with hydroxychloroquine.
Well, I hope it does. Again, you're writing history with this.
Well, history is written by the winners, I think is the phrase. And the polls don't point in that direction. But none of us are taking any chances. We're all can't wait to vote. Oh God.
Venture into another area. It was announced.
Yeah, take him away from the part where he's trying to sell snake oil.
By the Attorney General that his investigator, the attorney looking into the coup run against you, will not have any announcements, any results.
Yeah, I mean, it will not have anything about there being a coup.
Before the election. This is disappointing. I cannot tell you.
When was this announced, Rush?
I think I've got the story here in the stack. I thought it was
I think it's terrible.
Fairly
He just found out on Rush Limbaugh's show. It's your Attorney General.
recently that
I think it's terrible.
well, it is because these are
Why aren't they finding crimes where I want them to find crimes where there are no crimes? And why do they keep letting them look at my taxes?
these are people. This is the biggest political scandal in the history of this country. Certainly our
You wish.
lifetimes.
If that's the case, I'm very disappointed. I think it's a terrible thing, and I'll say it to his face.
Here it is. Barr tells Republicans Durham report will not be ready by election. It came out today.
That's a disgrace.
Damn it. I was counting on that report. How this morning, Joe Scarborough took your comments, suggested that if anyone cares about Trump, they need to help him, family member, someone. Yeah. I'm very excited that a lot of what I say starts showing up in people's feeds. I'm sure there are some crisscrosses, some very bright people out there. But there are a couple of things I think I've pointed out over time that people are like, oh, shit, yeah, I never really thought about that.
It's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment.
Well, I don't have
But
the
enough about your presidency.
words to express my anger. I mean, I'm not.
Why would you have words to express your anger? You only talk for a living. Isn't anger to Rush Limbaugh like snow to Inuits? Doesn't he have 1,000 words for all the anger he feels about the libturds and whatnot?
I'm surprised. I'm angry.
I've had to go through it twice now with elections, and yet they have. See, this is what I mean with the Republicans. They don't play the tough game. They don't play the tough game.
This is a video that they're playing on this live stream.
If this were the other side, you would have had 25 people in jail for the rest of their lives with what we found.
That's Durham. Barr, they're supposedly taking Obama into custody.
Oh,
Look at the fantasy going on here.
Tried something like this against any of them? Heck yes.
Oh, are you kidding me? You would have been 20. Look at me. I had to beat off the phony Mueller report. I had to beat
Really? Is that how you do it? You beat off the Mueller report? What?
off all this stuff. I had to beat off impeachment. I had to beat off Congress, everything else. They then send it to New.
Wait. Maybe that's how he got sick. He was beating off Congress.
New York, which is all political. They send it into New York, the same stuff into New York.
They just
have to
play
beat that off. You know, they got New York
just playing
all over.
Video of this, so we don't need to watch this part of it.
They don't stop. This is a disgrace. If that just came out, and you know, I purposely tried to stay away from it because they all say it would be better if I'm not involved.
Well, have you
Yeah, that's true of most parts of government.
declassified everything about this yet?
Have you declassified everything about this yet? Yes, he has. They've read it all. They can't find a crime. They're very upset.
I fully declassified everything. Everything's been declassified.
And still they can't find anything.
Have so much information. They didn't need any more than, frankly, Mr. Horowitz, who was an Obama appointment. He wrote a report on Comey that was so bad. It was so bad. I've never seen anything like it. And they should have gone after him just on that. And McCabe, too. You know, took $700,000 from Hillary Clinton.
I don't know how these people are still on cable TV lying.
Dude, now you know how everyone feels about your career, Rush.
Through their teeth about all of this. Still getting paid to carry forth the lie.
If that's the case, and you have to understand.
Listen to who is asking this question. So, Rush Limbaugh is deaf because of his illegal prescription drug use. Shall we? Okay, shall we just jump into this while they're talking? Can I please? Sorry. Rush Limbaugh drug use. Why can't I type today? I'm like, I don't know if I'm all thumbs. If you were all thumbs, you'd know how to use them well. Let's see. This'll do. This is 2006. Grab this little page, drag it over this way so you guys can take a look at it. Rush Limbaugh arrested on prescription drug charges. In case you don't remember this part. So while they're talking about hypocrisy on Rush's show with Trump, like, I don't even know how people are allowed to even keep talking after what they've been through. How is it? Why aren't they taken off the air? West Palm Beach, Florida, April 29th. This is 2006. Rush Limbaugh, whoever he is, was arrested today on prescription drug charges, with his lawyer saying he has reached a deal with prosecutors that will eventually see the charges dismissed if he continues treatment for drug addiction. Now, keep in mind, by the way, that Rush Limbaugh has always argued against treatment over jail time for drug addicts. Until, of course, he was caught himself. The subject of a 3-year-long investigation by prosecutors, Mr. Limbaugh turned himself into authorities on a warrant charging him with fraud to conceal information to obtain prescriptions, said Terry Barbara, a spokeswoman for the Palm Beach County Jail. That is just, I'll be a huckleberry. 55-year-old conservative radio commentator came into the jail about 4 p.m. with his lawyer, Roy Black, and left an hour after he posted $3,000 bail. He just kind of came in and left, Ms. Barbara said. Yeah. Mr. Black said his client and prosecutors reached a settlement, so they dealt with this all. This is just a matter of, they were going to release him on his own recognizance. The bail, you know, he's not a flight risk. He's too well known. So bail, the weird thing is unless you're a threat to the public, and people bitch about this, famous people or well-known public figures often get very low bail amounts because they can't go anywhere. Most of us right now, unless we went and looked, couldn't pick Derek Chauvin out of a lineup. So, no pun intended. So he has $1 million bail, even though he's pretty well known as a figure currently because of the George Floyd case. However, somebody like Limbaugh or something like that, even though they're busted for an enormous crime, let's see, where's, yeah. I don't know if they have there you go. Prosecutors seized Mr. Limbaugh's records after learning that he had received about 2,000 painkillers prescribed by 4 doctors in 6 months. 2,000. The investigation was held up as prosecutors Mr. Black battled in court over whether the records had been properly seized. You know, whether the cops had a right to even see the crimes he was committing. Good old Rush Limbaugh. Freedom, America, righteousness, law and order, Trump America. So what did they argue? You don't have probable cause to look at my trunk? Right. Mr. Limbaugh reported 5 years ago he had lost most of his hearing because of an autoimmune inner ear disease. He had surgery and an electronic device placed in his skull, but research shows that abusing opiate-based painkillers can also cause profound hearing loss. And I would say 2,000 painkillers in 6 months is a profound amount of opiate-based painkillers to cause said hearing loss. Wouldn't you agree? Before his own problems became public, Mr. Limbaugh had decried drug use and abuse and mocked President Clinton for saying he had not inhaled when he tried marijuana. He often made the case that drug crimes deserve punishment. Drug use, some might say, is destroying this country, Mr. Limbaugh said on his short-lived television program. And we have laws against selling drugs, pushing drugs, using drugs, and importing drugs. And so if people are violating the law by doing drugs, they ought to be accused, and they ought to be convicted, and they ought to be sent up. I guess sent up to the cement condo or the hooskow. On the same show, he commented that the statistics show blacks go to prison more often than whites for the same drug offenses, only illustrated that too many whites are getting away with drug use. Gee, where'd you ever get that idea? By the way, so we are listening to two drug abusers on the phone who have dodged conviction or jail time for their drug use for years. So,
and I'm hearing this for the first time.
Well, I don't know how. You've known this asshole for years.
And I said it's impossible. So it's okay for me to have to go through investigations during an election, but
yeah, but you actually have you were committing a crime. Your people were in contact with people who were being surveilled by the
them.
FBI,
We don't want to
CIA.
upset the apple cart.
It wasn't an investigation. It was a hunt.
The Republicans don't play the same game.
You have to understand. Everybody's like, Trump's losing his mind. He's on drugs. It's like crazy. He was acting like a complete asshole. Yes, this is true. But Rush is on similar hoppers right now.
Didn't do anything.
They're both. I mean, honestly, who's more
any
nutty?
evidence. This was not an investigation.
Breaking news: President Raccoon to make statement from the Oval Office. Oh yeah, is it going to be live? I did Templeton. It's beautiful. The painting, the picture of the George Washington Masonic thing. I just got it. Lovely. Thank you. Hold on. Let me see if because I don't want to miss this. We'll go live to this crazy pants nonsense. Yeah.
It was a hunt.
I mean, they're both yelling at each other. This is glorious.
You were being hunted. They were trying to plant and
A
create
hunter.
evidence that would be believed.
Is the hunter.
They failed.
We caught them. We caught them
They were spying on my campaign. It's totally treason.
cold. And we have people that don't
Caught
know
him
how
cold. We caught him stone cold. Well, apparently you didn't. I mean, clearly not.
to do anything about it.
Well, you have the Justice Department. You could not find a more sycophantic leader.
It's horrible. If that's the case, I have to check that. I find it hard to believe. Because you know what?
What?
I went through 2 elections. You don't think that affected 18? I wasn't running in 18. But the whole Russia witch hunt affected the 18 outcome of the election. You know, we lost.
Yes, it did. They looked at you and decided that what you were doing was criminal and scary and awful. And the 18, by the way, wasn't really about the impeachment at all. The election in 18 was about policy. I would argue that his weird need to deny transgender people the right to serve was a tipping point where people realized he was just coming for anybody he didn't like. And I would argue that attack on trans people was the impetus for a lot of people to start paying attention to all the other shit he was doing, not to mention the child separation.
Congressional seats.
No, he has not mentioned how Melania is doing. Although he may have asked her at the beginning, and we've gone statistically, she's doing great.
People don't say we picked up two Senate seats, but
Yeah.
we lost something in 18. You know, we lost something. We lost some seats that we probably could have held on to. We went through the same thing, and it was all phony stuff. Nobody said, let's hold it back until after the election.
Hold on.
But the Republicans don't play the same game. They don't play the same game. I'd be very...
Yeah, I agree. You know, Republicans are just pussies, aren't they? I mean, honestly, to use your favorite vernacular, sir, that's the problem with the Republican Party, is they're just a bunch of pusillanimous weaklings. They just, you know, they're not people of action. They ditch out of debates just because they have to take a COVID test. I mean, how? Come on.
I'd be surprised.
I would be surprised. Surprised about what?
I'd be very disappointed.
I'm not surprised you're disappointed.
Be disappointed because this stuff should have come out a year ago anyway.
Did you?
Which stuff? I'm starting to lose track of which detail he was hoping.
Expect it to?
They had everything they needed a year ago.
Did you expect it to come out by now?
I thought it should have come out 2 years ago. I mean, frankly, as far as I was concerned. Look,
They're both losing the script.
if they hold it because of the election, I've gone through 2 elections now.
Well, that's what he says. They're holding
They
it.
started investigating me before I even won the election.
Yeah, because you were engaged in a crime in the campaign.
It says here.
I did say the P word mainly because of how it affects him, not because of my own negative thought about that word. You guys can my feelings about the P word are a matter of public record. So
Investigating me when I was coming down the escalator, the beautiful golden escalator, as it goes, with the...
Yeah, because watching you walk downstairs, you never would have gotten elected. Because you would have been winded at the bottom, and all of America, including the people who now have boat parades for you, would go, look at this rich second-generation asshole getting winded from walking downstairs.
This lady, I was under investigation illegally by these thieves and Comey
No, they weren't.
crooks. We caught them in the act. They were spying on my campaign, and then they went for a coup.
Wait, you consider Sergei Kislyak a member of your campaign?
Nobody said, well, gee,
Well, gee.
let's hold off the investigation. But with...
No, especially about Hillary Clinton, as a matter of fact. That turned it for you.
They do. The Republicans...
They weren't going to hold off the election on a private citizen who's committing an international series of crimes because you're running.
don't play it the same way. It's very disappointing.
No, it was frustrating. For the first 6 months of your first term, half the Republicans in the House thought it was true, and that's why they didn't help you move your agenda. But it says right
Yeah, that's why.
here, this is Axios, by the way, is the news source, and they say that Barr is communicating that his investigator, Durham, is taking his investigation very seriously and is...
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. President, I'll get right back to you on that. It's him again. Do we want to tell him that we found any shit or... Nah. Yeah, it's going great. Thanks for all the paperwork. Yeah, we're leafing through that immediately. Absolutely. Yeah, we got a giant circular file for all of it. It's perfect.
focused on winning prosecutions, which I guess we're to expect not scoring points in the media.
Let everybody get elected to office, and then let's worry about it. First of
Oh, yeah, so he thinks he's losing to Biden. There you go.
all, if we don't win this election, that whole thing's going to end, okay?
No. There'll be a whole new one. I think you should be more concerned with the financial investigations of SDNY.
And you just remember that.
As
If we don't
will
win this election, that's another thing I'm fighting.
I don't know if you want Rush. I mean, he's got a huge stack of paper that Snerdley or whoever the shit runs his show puts out for him every day. I don't know if you want him doing stuff from memory, considering how drug-addled he is at this point.
Because these people have to be brought to justice, but they should have been brought to justice before the election. But if we don't win this election, that whole thing is going to be dismissed.
That's another thing. People.
Yeah. It'll just be, they'll fumigate the White House, they'll sage the grounds, they'll dump all your ridiculous witch hunts that you've created to try and pretend like the investigations of you have an equal and opposite version of the story, and then we'll go back to being America. Like, remember when we used to like listen to music and go places, do stuff, ice cream? Remember that?
Want to know what they can do, sir. You would not.
They should keep watching QAnon videos and continue trying to self-fillet.
Believe the numbers of people who are asking, what can they do besides vote? What and voting is big. I mean, I tell
be careful, because he might say shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue.
people that ask me this. That's the first thing. Just make sure you vote. Show up and vote on election day, but vote. It's not insignificant. What else can people do?
It's not insignificant. So that's him pushing back. Always listen to how people word stuff. What Rush Limbaugh and the people around him and the people around Trump are saying to them that's causing pushback is voting is insignificant.
Because they want to help you. They want
That's why they're in a boat that's sinking.
to know what they can do.
Keep up the genius, because they're genius. They get it better than these guys that are looking at stuff. I'm telling you, they get it better. The American.
What was that? What is that sentence? What? Honestly, they get it. They're geniuses, and they get it better than people who are looking at stuff.
Want to help you. They want to know what they can do.
Keep up the genius, because they're genius. They get it better than these guys that are looking at stuff. I'm telling you, they get it better. The American public.
What? Yes. You know what? The genius part of my followers is that when evidence comes up, they don't even look at it. They're so much smarter for not looking at anything, like the stories about him and the evidence. Like, they don't look at this. Is genius. If we could only stop people from looking at the shit I'm doing.
Gets this.
Yes, keep up the anger. He also said that.
Better than the so-called people that are looking. You know, when I look.
The so-called people that are looking. Please tell me he made air quotes when he said better than the so-called people that are looking. Remember when Trump's big talent was supposedly coming up with sharp and cutting names for people that he was denigrating? Remember that?
The American public gets this better than the so-called people that are looking. You know, when I look at the Times and I look at the Washington Post, fake papers, both of them.
What are they? They're fake papers? What are they made out of? Cardboard? Or they're props? What do you mean?
They get Pulitzer Prizes for the.
Oh, this is the Pulitzer Prize. Is he going to tell him that Rush deserves a Pulitzer and that they should give it back?
Investigation, but they were all wrong. There was no collision. So they get Pulitzer.
Yeah, there was.
Prizes.
Was it a true word in any of those stories?
No, none of it.
Not a single word. None of the conjunctions worked. There was an and wherever there needed a but, and vice versa.
The guys that did get it right, they don't get Pulitzer Prizes, you know, and you and I can name 10 of them, okay? You're one of them, but you don't care about Pulitzer Prizes. But
yeah, because he's not a journalist. And you would lose,
But
it's Rush Limbaugh, never mind.
Ones that got it, they don't get anything. But
no.
Just, Rush, take a look at how wrong these people were. And they pretend they know me. You know, Maggie Haberman, all of these people, they know. I have nothing against them, but they don't know me.
They have nothing. You have nothing against them. I mean, they're the enemy of the people, and you single them out to get booed at all of your rallies. But I got nothing. Can you tell me, when did he and Melania finally reveal her paperwork that showed she wasn't working on a bad visa? I don't know that moment ever happened.
They don't know me. I haven't seen her. I
don't know this people. I don't know anybody. Okay? Understand this. If I like you, I know you. The minute I don't like you anymore, I never met you. It's a simple equation.
You're in a year and a half. You know, you take one picture with somebody, it ends up being like the best friends for the rest of your life. You know, take a picture at the Oval Office with a photographer, with a reporter. And then they write, though, as though you're like you can't live without them.
Like just as proud to be a woman.
I don't even speak
Tootsie reference, I'm sorry.
To these people, but
I don't even speak to these people. They have, all right.
Look at the bad reporting that they've done. Look how wrong they were about everything. They got Pulitzer Prizes for the Pulitzer Organization.
Oh, thanks, MLG. Thanks for the gifted subs today. Thank you guys for joining. We've got 300 people already in the chat. Welcome. How you guys doing? We're going to go live whenever it happens to Trump's Tuckerectomy that he's doing.
Frankly, is a disgrace.
Well, I agree, but enough about Tucker.
They gave Pulitzer Prizes to everybody that shouldn't have gotten them.
That's so weird. It's almost as if you disagree with anyone who calls you out or finds you guilty. It's so strange.
Yep.
So let me get this right. The Pulitzer, let's back up. The Pulitzer Committee gave Pulitzer Prizes to all the reporters who wrote fake stories about you that aren't true. And the guy you put in charge of an investigation against your former political rivals who hasn't found anything and says he won't have anything until after the election, and the guy in charge of him who understands that's true, even though you declassified every document pertaining to every document. I don't know what every document means, but we'll take you at your word that every document, they can read everything. They can read, I don't know, Woodrow Wilson's love letters to his third cousin, all of it. And they still haven't found anything. They still haven't locked her up. John Jay hasn't landed. But it's them. Not you. It's not. The entire legal system can't find anything where you're telling them to look. And every reputable journalist calls you out on your crimes. But somehow, the linchpin seems to be...
They were all wrong.
Folks, let me just...
They're wrong. That's what it boils down to.
That should get the Pulitzer Prizes didn't get them.
You know who should have gotten a Pulitzer Prize? I mean, this is weird. But I would go with... Here's a suggestion. Anyways, let's see. I don't know who wrote this up. Where's the details on this story? Whoever wrote, I think there should be a Pulitzer Prize for this story. Where's the Pulitzer? Why didn't that person win a Pulitzer? How come? Why didn't they get a Pulitzer? You know what I mean? Just a shame. They do all that investigative reporting, and then they don't get a Pulitzer. That's just rude. You know what I mean?
Back the president up on this, folks. In this story that we're talking about here, the Russian collusion meddling story, do not doubt me, there wasn't a word of truth in any of the stories that were...
Yeah, do not doubt me. Never doubt me. You can never doubt Rush Limbaugh. What he says is gold. Never doubt the fact that... if people who are violating the law by doing drugs, they ought to be accused, they ought to be convicted, and they ought to be sent up. You know what I mean? So his lips to God's ears. Folks, listen to Rush, because you can take that to the bank.
Oftentimes 4 times a day for the first year. There was...
Is that how often you took opiates?
No truth. When Robert Mueller was handled the file on the day he became the special counsel, it was empty. There was never any evidence. This was not an investigation.
Wait, someone handed Robert Mueller an empty file? Perhaps I'm gonna. Can I mind by? Perhaps they were handing him an empty file, so it was just a folder. Put all the evidence in, like take the stuff, all the different evidence, vet the evidence down to the stuff that has value, put that in the new folder, the empty one you were given, fill it up, and then write a report based on that. And then, of course, let Bill Barr redact half of it, and then, of course, not let him look into the president's finances before the campaign that may show motive and opportunity and direction.
There was nothing to investigate. It was a hunt. It was an outrage, and to be awarded a Pulitzer Prize.
It's so rude.
for printing not a single thing that is true is genuinely discrediting the Pulitzer. And you would think these people would care about that, but they don't, sir. All that matters is getting rid of you. That's all that matters.
That's what matters. Just get rid of them.
They'd want to take back the prizes on the basis that they made a mistake. I mean, you would think that.
Guys, have you heard the president? He and Rush Limbaugh, yeah, the dude who was smuggling drugs and Viagra into and out of Haiti. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, the accused pedophile who knew Epstein as well as Trump did. Yeah, that guy. He and Trump just said those stories we gave Pulitzers for are bullshit. Oh no. Guys, email the shipping department and see if they've been sent out. Maybe we can call them back.
Committee would.
If we can get them back, we'll put them right over there with Obama's Nobel Prize, because it's pronounced Nobel, right? Nobel Prize. The president says Nobel, so we go with that.
And say, I'm sorry, but you got it wrong. We're going to have to, remand. We're going to have to take back the prize.
You're remanded. Remanded. Oh my God! Somebody has been hearing the conversations about Roger Stone being remanded without bail.
But Rush, think of it. They was totally wrong, and they was
totally wrong, Rush. Come on, man. I mean, I love when the president gets down verbally, don't you?
Back the prizes. But Rush, think of it. They was totally wrong.
They was totally wrong, man. Ain't nothing there. They was totally wrong.
They all got Pulitzer prizes.
They was totally wrong. They got Pulitzer prizes. Come on.
And then they go on to another story. It's the same stuff. It's
and they go right on to write the same story again. They're probably going to get another Pulitzer for writing the same lie again.
It's so disgraceful.
It is.
You look at what's gone on. It's so dishonest. And they knew it. And Mueller was a fraud. The whole thing was a fraud.
The thug.
And
the thug. The thug. Yeah, and you know what the worst thing was about Mueller was? Him showing up with the gold chains every day. The Mr. T outfit when he answered questions before, because I mean they use that word thug in a very choice way.
They were just thugs.
They were just thugs. They're all just thugs.
Thugs. And I'll tell you something.
Just thug, the thug, thug, thug. It's the thug song.
A friend of mine said, you must be
confusing me for somebody else. I'm not your friend. Why do you keep calling me that?
A friend of mine is a very smart, very successful guy, lawyer.
I'm sorry. Those are mutually exclusive. Friend of yours and smart person.
Said, you must be the most honest guy in the world.
Okay. I'm going to go with Rudy Giuliani, and I'm also going to go with paying him.
You've gone through 3.5 years of investigation.
This was Rudy saying this.
And they found nothing. And they've gone through my taxes. They've gone through everything. Hey,
No, they haven't.
And $48 million, I think the last number I heard was $48 million.
And they made, through seized assets, more money than that. That's right. The Mueller investigation turned a profit, something this man has never done. Venmo.
Investigating me. They've gone through my taxes. They've gone through everything you can imagine.
Epstein's black book. Ghislaine Maxwell's trunk in her wardrobe.
The level that nobody can even believe. Nobody's ever had to put up, and no other president should have to put up with this.
Why don't you just give them your taxes to start with, and you wouldn't have had to worry about any of this? Seriously. I mean, you wouldn't have gotten elected, but none of this investigation would have happened if you just shown your taxes. You would have just been a candidate who had to stop his candidacy because when he showed his taxes, they showed that he was being lent money by people who were being sanctioned by the Magnitsky Act, and that he was operating a money laundering operation out of Trump Tower. It would have been a lot easier.
But then I hear that they're not going to do the thing before the election. Why? Because they're afraid they're going to influence the election. Because that's the way the Republicans are. They play so nice all the time.
Yeah, that's how I think of them.
That would be very disappointing. If Bill Barr actually made that statement, I would be very disappointed in him.
He did say it. What do you think? Are you calling Rush Limbaugh a liar? Next thing, you're going to call him a drug addict. This is terrible.
I don't know that.
How dare you?
He made that statement. But if he did do that, I'd be
Well,
very
that's a good point. I mean, it is the drive-by media. It's Axios, and the story is that Barr
Yeah, it could be not a real quote.
is telling
It's just what Rush Limbaugh has reported on the air.
leading Republicans. It's not that he's made it public. It's that he's
Well, they've had plenty of time to do it. They've been looking at it for 2 years. The facts are on the table.
And they still haven't found anything. Damn it.
All you have to do is take a look at the Horowitz report on Mueller. Even the New York Times on Mueller and on especially what they read about this idiot Comey, the world's worst FBI director. But
Why
not
do
only
you
that,
think
he's a very dishonest guy?
So we believe the New York Times now. Okay.
Do you think
He
the American
lied, he
people?
leaked.
Do you think the American people are not aware of this? Do you think they don't know the?
No, we know. We know what you think. We also know that it is in direct contradiction with the facts.
They're aware. No, they're totally aware. Even the other side's aware of it. The other side laughs about
The other side?
it. They can't believe they got away with it. You want to know the truth? You know, they're not.
I'm shocked every day. I mean, honestly, I didn't even cash my Soros check. I just put it on the wall and laugh at the zeros.
They're not stupid. They're very smart.
Thanks. I like to think so.
The other side laughs about it. It's
It's true. It's true. We do laugh about it. We've been laughing every day at you. It's not directly about the getting away with the Russia hoax thing that I think you're going with there. But in all honesty, looking at the facts and your behavior, and yeah, we laugh a lot. We laugh quite a bit.
not like they believe the Russia thing. They don't
Well,
believe
I know,
it.
but if they
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
They
if
laugh.
they
Ivanka believes it. She slept with Christopher Steele. You know the guy who wrote the document that said you hired hookers in Russia, and when you found out that Obama had slept in the bed that you were having alleged sex with them, after the 3 minutes were up, you had to get your money's worth, so you had the hookers pee on the bed. The guy who wrote that in that dossier slept with your daughter.
about it.
Just saying.
think they got away with it, then I'm leading up to the American people should be, if they know what happens, so outraged. No way they would vote Democrat. This is outrageous. This is antithetical to everything this country stands for.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is antithetical to let an abuser and clearly a dealer of opioids continue to have a radio show that, while it can't turn a profit, is financed by the Heritage Foundation, an organization that believes it has conservative values. And yet, they pay for this asshole to keep his show on the air, and to the tune of millions of dollars a year. And yet,
What happened to you?
I don't know.
Tried to do a takedown of a very legitimately, in fact, beyond, because I was fighting, little did I know, because I didn't know when they started this
Beyond legitimately elected president? Jesus.
investigation, which was long before the presidential, before the race. After I won, they tried to take me out.
Oh,
Before I won, they tried to, it was a fraud. It was the Russian witch hunt.
Oh, they were trying to
By the
corrupt
way,
your transition.
nobody has
they were trying to, okay.
you know this better than anybody. And Putin, I guarantee you, says this to everybody.
Oh, yeah? Well, you would know.
Nobody has been tougher on Russia than I have.
Yeah, I'm gonna argue that perhaps Reagan's family would disagree.
I got NATO to pay $410 billion more
Right.
to protect against Russia. I was the one that exposed Nord Stream, the pipeline going into Germany. I said, wait.
Nord Stream, did you? You're also in league with the people who tried to scuttle the Ukrainian pipeline that would have replaced it. You use it as a weapon to say, why are they anti-Russia when they get all their stuff from them? It's a political tool. But you fight openly against them being able to replace it with a pipeline that would go through a country we are allied with.
A minute. You pay.
Yeah, it's the Nordstrom Rack pipeline. It's great. I mean, there's a couple of, if you get stuff off the rack, it's not going to fit I mean, you have to get that oil tailored, but still, it's quite the quality.
Russia billions of dollars, and we're supposed to protect you from Russia.
Yeah, if they attack, like everybody's playing nice, but NATO is set up because Russia has a history of and a tendency towards. Okay.
What kind of a deal is this? I was the one that gave tank busters to Ukraine, and Obama.
Let me guess. Obama gave them pillows.
Obama gave them pillows.
Right. The reason is because now they have a legit democratically elected president that is fighting the corruption. And when Obama was running things, they were transitioning away from Russian sock puppets running the country. And every time we sent them weapons, they would end up in Russian hands. And we didn't want American weapons killing Ukrainians while the Russians held them and pointed them, because it was sort of bad karma and also bad for PR.
Remember the pillows, probably from the Pillow Man on Fox. But
really? Is this like you golf more than I do with Biden? Now all of a sudden Obama has a deal with the My Pillow guy?
Obama gave him pillows and sheets.
Right.
And I gave him tank busters. I gave them money. Obama did. Nobody has been tougher on Russia than I have. Nobody.
Well, Mr. President, I think something the American people need to know is that the Democrats and the media, which is, again, one and the same, have done more with 4 years of lies and misrepresentation, utter outright lies about you supposedly stealing the election from Hillary with the Russians. They have done more, sir. This is important. They have done more to corrupt the integrity and the honor of the presidential election system than Vladimir Putin could have ever hoped to. They have made people doubt. And they're now talking about how this upcoming election, the Russians are in the process of stealing it too. These people
that was Christopher Wray who said that.
Are so dishonorable and disreputable, and that
they would accuse a decent and good and law-abiding man like Vladimir Putin of trying to mess around in our democracy is a disgrace. I tell you, it's a disgrace.
Need to be made to be held accountable for what they have done to the perception of honesty and integrity in our elections, to the very serious effort they
Keep going. You're on a roll, man.
Making to transform this country into something it was never founded to be. But this business of trying to say that you stole the election, that you meddled with the Russians. They did. Hillary did. Hillary came up with this whole scheme.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? It's, all you were doing was murdering your wife, wrapping her in tarp, and dragging her out through the alley into the trunk of your car to bury her in a shallow grave on the far side of town. And this bitch across the street just gets up for a drink of water, looks out her window, and all of a sudden there's cops everywhere. You know what? It's her. Because everybody else was sleeping peacefully. They would have slept through the whole thing, and people, we'll talk about where your wife needed to go. But ultimately, you have to understand, like, this is hold on. Don't get calls during the thing.
Order to protect her from her email scandal.
Terrible. Oh, yes. The email. Let's see. Shall we just do this? Hillary email scandal ends. State Department under, of course, this is terrible. Just terrible. The Democrats do it again. This is just, the Democrats in the State Department, Pompeo and all those people. Probe of Clinton emails finds no deliberate mishandling of classified information. Yeah, who wouldn't want to fake Russian collusion with an incoming president to cover for a crime no one will find anyways? A multi-year, the way that puts it lightly, State Department probe of emails that were sent to former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's private computer server, which, by the way, was never hacked. During the last 10 years, the State Department email server has been hacked. John Podesta's emails got hacked. The DNC and the RNC servers got hacked. The Gmail account of David Petraeus got hacked. The Yahoo account of Colin Powell got hacked. You know what never got hacked? You know what we have never seen? Anything on Hillary Clinton's private computer server. The FBI has. They were given a copy of it. But if you want to talk about security, you want to talk about somebody who managed to keep things secure. Yeah, Cruz and Rubio got hacked. The entire RNC got hacked. But Hillary Clinton's private email server did a BleachBit commercial. Yeah. There was no systemic or deliberate mishandling of classified information by department employees, according to reports submitted to Congress this month. The report appears to represent a final and anticlimactic chapter in a controversy that overshadowed the 2016 presidential campaign and exposed Hillary Clinton to fierce criticism she later cited as a major factor in her loss to President Trump. By the way, the one thing that I think Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump do actually share is a hatred, a deep and abiding hatred for Jim Comey. In the end, State Department investigators found 38 current or former employees culpable of violating security procedures, none involving material that had been marked classified. In a review of roughly 33,000 emails that had been sent to or from a person, what? Where are the 33,000 emails? Where are they? Where are the 33,000 emails? Well, apparently, the State Department and the investigators reviewed all of them. In a review of roughly 33,000 emails that had been sent to or from the personal computer system of that Hillary Clinton used, because we all know, by the way, that when you send or receive an email, it's not just stored on that, it's a communication server. What you really keep safe on your server is, A, you store stuff for later in case the other person erases it, but you also keep people's personal emails and all those kind of things that you interact with regularly private as well, so it's not hacked, so other people can't get their information. But the emails you sent to and from them go to their accounts as well. So no one using email actually labors under the idea, unless you're completely stupid, that people are nobody's going to find your emails ever. In the end, so they reviewed all those roughly 33,000 emails that they were talking about. Remember that story? The 33, where are they? Well, they had them the whole time. Overall, investigators said there was no persuasive evidence of systemic, deliberate mishandling of classified information. Of course, this was all Democrats and deep staters who came up with this. Oh, wait, it was all Trump appointees. The report cited instances of classified information being inappropriately transmitted, but noted that the vast majority of those scrutinized were aware of security policies and did their best to implement them. The release comes as Trump continues to raise the Clinton email issue to attack Democrats, blah, blah, blah. State Department probe focused on internal communications that were up to 9 years old. They went up back almost a decade and still goose egg. Dozens of former state employees were brought back in for questioning in recent months after being notified that emails had been sent years ago had been retroactively classified. So here's what happened. The Trump administration comes in, has the State Department tell them, hey, that stuff you sent that wasn't classified while you were working with Hillary Clinton, we've decided the new standard is they are classified as secret, top secret, or secure, and therefore you guys need to come in and testify whether or not you knew or had any idea that they should, would, or could be reconstituted as classified documents by an opposition party after you'd left your job 7 years after the fact. Seriously. One former official who was questioned described it as, quote, a way to tarnish a whole bunch of Democratic foreign policy people. You think? Among those applying pressure was Charles Grassley of Iowa, who sent letters to the State Department's Bureau of Diplomatic Security Updates. there's no indication there that those scrutinized will be sanctioned. I'm Chuck Grassley, and this is the Bullshit Report, something I know about in Iowa. But many have received letters saying that they were judged to have been involved in valid security incidents, even if not culpable of a formal breach. An ambiguous status that some fear could complicate their abilities to return to government service. Gee, you think that was the point all along? Hi, folks. Welcome to the show. You know, one of the things I like to point out is that not only has there been a revenge attack on Hillary Clinton during the entirety of the, I guess, the Bush years, and everyone for getting chipped through so that children would have insurance. They've never let her live that down. But that she continued, she stood by her husband when he went through his impeachment process. They remained together as a faithful couple after the fact. They both, she went on to be a New York State senator, which drove them crazy. Then she became Secretary of State, working with her former rival, which is something they refused to do. But yes, all that is a revenge tactic as well. But understand this. The Clinton email server thing, just the constant grind on it, the baseline purpose was this. An ambiguous, let's see, where it is. There is no indication that any of those scrutinized will be sanctioned, but many received letters saying that they were judged to have been involved in valid security incidents, even if not culpable of a formal breach. An ambiguous status that some fear could complicate their abilities to return to government service. That this would affect their ability in any normal circumstance, obviously in a, why does Jared Kushner have security clearance situation? Clearly, all standards don't apply in this White House. But this is what this has been about. This is the other part of the Hillary Clinton email server stuff that they've been going on and on about, is to keep all these people, many of whom are competent, decent human beings who care about the rule of law, from ever getting clearance to work in the upper levels of government again. So that when a Democrat returns to the White House and they start forming their cabinet and other stuff, it makes it harder for them to get security clearance in theory. Breaking news, debate is canceled? Yeah, well, the debate was, it wasn't going to happen anyways. But they're both going to do, Biden was shifted to doing a town hall on that night with ABC, and Trump said he's going to do a rally. He's not going to do it. I'm curious. Tomorrow night, I'm going to stream, obviously, my radio show tomorrow. But tomorrow night, I'm streaming that outdoor monstrosity that Trump is doing. Oh, don't forget. Tomorrow night is his first public rally, which he's using the White House. So, yeah. The whole email scandal bullshit that they've been pushing is an attempt to make sure that a lot of the support structure of decent, hardworking human beings that work with the Obama administration, especially, have a hard time getting security clearance in the future. That's what it's about. Yeah, they want the big noise is about Hillary Clinton. She makes a big target. But just like Trump not wearing a mask around the White House is all about him, he feels fine, he feels good, and the target becomes about what an asshole. There's 100 people who have tested positive in the White House right now.
This is something they did, and now they're running around and they're doing more damage to the integrity, the perceived honesty of our electoral system than anything Vladimir Putin could have ever hoped.
Sure, yeah. I mean, they're the ones, the Democrats running around saying that foreign countries can just print ballots and send them in, and that ballot harvesting is everywhere, and that 1,000 ballots were sent out without the presidential election being a part of it at all, meaning Biden wasn't on it either, was a targeted attack on him, that the dude who dumped his ballots, the New Jersey postal worker who dumped the ballots, dumped 1,800 pieces of mail, 99 of which were ballots, all of them going to a heavily Democratic district in a state that's going to go blue.
She deleted 33,000 emails. She should be in jail for that. I don't even care if they're very highly confidential emails. I don't care what. She deleted. She got a question. She got a statement from Congress, a subpoena from Congress. Everybody, we want your emails, all of Hillary Clinton's emails, 33,000 of them. She deleted them. She asked it why.
Really? Then how did they manage to review them? Anybody? Anybody know? How? If she deleted them and they were gone forever, how in the hell did they manage to review them? How do you review something that isn't there? This is a question for the QAnon people, I suppose.
And she broke her telephones with a hammer.
Everybody does that when they leave office. It's a security protocol. Think about the phones you have sitting around. Like I have, where is it? I'll show you this. Okay, hold on. So when I used to do my radio show on the road, many of you know, I looked for many, many solutions on how to do it. And the original thing I had was called a tie line. It's hilarious. It's a horrifying contraption. Hold on, let me bring it up. It's a voice over IP direct line that gives you a very, let's see, consistent. Radio people need a very specific and secure device for doing radio instead of just calling in on a phone line. It's a very and it's a rickety. Where's a good picture of it? Here it is. So I'll show you the picture of the piece of gear that I had. So this is it. This is what it looked like. This thing right here. Okay, just one of these. This is what the new one looks like. That was very expensive. That replaced it. Even still, pain in the ass. When you use this guy, it's got an Ethernet port. It's got microphone ports. It's like, this is the cellular thing, which I never had. And this is what it uses for a power cable. So try finding a replacement if it screws up. It looks like a piece of gear popped off of a computer in the 90s. They never updated it until about 3 years ago when VoIP took off, and now you don't really even need it. I use a website now. But I had to bring this piece of shit everywhere I went, okay? So afterwards, the group, Tieline, made an app. And they, because I needed my phone for stuff, I came up with a brilliant idea, because most iPod Touches will use just about any app that you have. I got an iPod Touch that I could isolate on the Wi-Fi in the hotel, which wouldn't have any other things going on it. And I would use that to run the app. And it was pretty much, that's all that was on this thing. It's dead. It doesn't work anymore. It won't even power up. It cooked it. This thing doesn't work, okay? But to load up on this, I had to put in my email address, the one that I use for all my app stuff, right? And just to download the damn thing. And I had to have the email address on here that has my, that I would get emails about that in case I had to license that piece of software, right? So anyways, long story short, there's a shit ton of ancillary information, emails of other people that I don't talk to that often, or that I had as a guest on the show, that they wouldn't want made public and all that kind of stuff that's on this. Now, like I said, this thing's dead, and I'm not worried about anybody hacking into it anytime soon. But when you leave the State Department or the FBI or the CIA, you don't want one of these fuckers sitting around in a desk somewhere. You understand? It is protocol. Since the invention of cell phones, beepers used to get hit with a hammer when they got out of places, when they started using those things. How friggin' stupid does he think people are? Anyways, that's my little side story. That's why they destroy their phones. That's why Mueller destroyed his phones, why the FBI people destroyed his phones. And by the way, Trump has benefited multiple times from the destruction of those devices. Because if any New York Times reporter got a copy of any of the devices the Mueller team used, all bets would be off. As a matter of fact, they may have, and that might be how they got the taxes.
Okay, broke them with a hammer. And by the way, speaking of that, and speaking of Bill Barr, 31 people deleted their telephone messages from the Mueller report. Okay? And they said they all made a mistake. Well, they made the same mistake. The chances are 1 billion to 1 that they would have made the same mistake.
They didn't make the same. It wasn't a mistake. It was protocol.
31 phones were wiped clean.
Yes, it's protocol.
On the Mueller report.
Yes. All of those phones had your numbers in them.
I want to see.
Had your family's numbers in them. Had your family's email addresses. Their social security numbers were on those devices.
Those phones, right? And how do you allow 31 phones? I think it was 19 people, 31 phones. You read about it just recently. They want the phones because they want the information of the phones because we caught them cheating. And they were all wiped clean, or most of them were wiped clean. We have a couple.
Did my chat died? Am I talking into the wind? Did that happen? Did my system croak? Something else going on? Hold on, let me open my restream and make sure I can see you guys. One of those situations where I think I've been doing a show for an hour and there's actually no show there. Sometimes the app gets weird. I've been opening too many pages. It's freaking everything out. Close that. Gonna overwhelm my whole system. Okay, everybody's there. Good. You still see me? Excellent. Okay. Because the stream chat from Twitch was being weird on the actual Streamlabs thing. So now I have to open, because I think it's probably frozen on the page. Let's see. Did it freeze? No? Okay, so there you go. Just being slow. All right, we're better. All right. I guess it has to refresh or something like that. Anyway, okay, good. Phew, that made me worried. Yeah, it's getting choppy because I had a bunch of video pieces up. That's what happens. I'm lagging a bit. Everybody reload your page because it might just be that too. That's possible. So sorry.
Or not, but they were wiped clean. They were deleted. Everything was deleted and cleansed, and you're not allowed to do that. They broke the law. Nothing happens to these people.
No.
But they go after General Flynn. They go after Papadopoulos. They go after all these people.
Who?
It is a disgrace. And one of the reasons I want to win so badly is we got to finish this thing off. And I will be very disappointed if that Axios piece that you read to me is true. I'll be very disappointed because they've had plenty of time to get this done. Plenty of time.
Absolutely. Sir, why do you think Vice President Biden agreed to go on with the town hall debate number 2? If you can prove you're virus-free on October 15th, and then he retracted the demand, now agrees with the commission to Zoom the debate, wants a virtual debate, and if he doesn't show up, are you going to show up anyway? But what are they trying to pull off here?
I don't think the debates mean that much because, and I'll tell you what, I've done well with debates. I've won, I guess I had 15. I think I won every single poll. I won the poll on this one with him. But I had to be rude because he was lying. He'd get up and he'd just say a series of things that were all lies. So I'd say false, and they'd say I interrupted him. But you know, if you look at the polls, most polls say I won it with him. But it was a very interesting thing. I'd rather let him speak because he's gone. He's mentally gone, and eventually he goes off track and he'll start talking about the birds and the bees. But I couldn't do that because he was saying so many false things. He'd say about the soldiers. He'd say about Social Security, which I'll protect and he won't protect, by the way. He's not going to protect. So he doesn't even know what it is. He'll say about Social Security. He'll say about, and if I didn't say wrong, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, wrong, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that's pretty much your debate strategy, right? That's it. That's wrong, et cetera, et cetera.
But the one who protected him was Chris Wallace.
Yeah, totally. Chris Wallace. Yeah, Fox has got a huge history of protecting Joe Biden from what?
By the way, Fox is a whole different ballgame. You know, Fox is a much different thing than it was 4 years ago.
Yeah,
somebody said, "What's the biggest?"
Ever since you can't sexually harass the women there anymore, what a dump.
Difference. I said the biggest difference is Fox. You take a look at Fox. Of course, we have our great ones, Sean and this, but and you know a number of them. But you watch this Fox is a whole different ballgame. And, you know, Paul Ryan is on the board of Fox, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. But Fox is a whole different ballgame. Somebody said to me, what's the biggest difference? I said the biggest difference is Fox is no longer the same. It's a big difference.
The obstacles that keep being placed in front of you are no doubt there. And I've never seen I've told you this before. I talk about it on this program. I've never seen anything like this before. The things that you have to overcome and surmount each and every day.
You shall overcome.
Would drive most people out of the business. It drive most people. I don't need this.
I can talk to you.
And I don't know. Again, I'm asking you. You didn't need any of this, sir.
Bigger, but
You didn't need this. You know what? You should just leave. You know what? These people don't deserve you.
why I can talk to you, Rush, the great Rush, and you are the great one, and I'm honored to know you. But I can talk to you, and I can spell out all of the dishonesty and everything else. And millions of people are listening right now. I hope you have your all-time biggest audience.
Millions and millions and millions. You would not believe how many millions.
No, but I can talk to you. Now, let's say I say, no, I don't want to do it, or I want to be shy. I don't want to talk that, too many people. Let's not talk. No, you have such an incredible audience. So I can tell.
I don't want to be shy. I don't want to talk. What? Hold on. I'm going to try and reload my page here, see if it gets a little smoother. I'm not quite sure why it's being such a dick, but I shut a bunch of pages, so hopefully that will speed things up a touch. Let me see, and I'll reload the Restream page, see if it wakes up. Give me 1 second. This is such an enormous kiss ass. Streaming monitor. All right, I think it'll work a little bit. It looks a little smoother for me.
Tell them about Fox being a big obstacle. It's a problem. Fox is a problem. When Roger Ailes ran Fox, Roger.
Yeah, when Roger ran things, come on. These chicks knew what side of the bread their butter was on. Am I right or am I right?
Had a very strong point of view. It's totally gone. And I think it's influenced by Paul Ryan. He's on the board. I can't believe it.
Paul Ryan just won't sexually harass women like he's supposed to. And it's just rude.
Here's a guy who failed as speaker. Do you know that Nancy Pelosi issues a subpoena like it's cookies, right? Everything you do. Did you make a phone call 12 years ago? Oh, issue a subpoena.
Did you make a phone call 12 years ago? Yeah, that's how it works. That's how thoughts work.
You couldn't get a subpoena at a Paul when we have great guys. We have Jim Jordan and these guys. They're so fantastic.
They're doing great jobs. There's no question. But
so
how do you have no choice? You have to deal with it. So I said Fox is different than they were 4 years ago, but you still have to deal with it. I deal with them, but they've gone a very different path.
They've taken their own way. You can go your own way.
Much different. It's a much different group. They have guys on there that are so bad. They have people, I call them the twins. There's Chris Hahn and
they just hired a bunch of...
Yeah, I call them the twins. Chris Hahn and somebody else. Those two people that I...
Democrats, so they can be fair.
No, he worked for Schumer. They're Schumer people.
Yeah.
How about when they hired Donna Brazile, who gave Hillary the questions to the debate? Okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Keep going back to that whole thing. Yeah, Hillary would have never guessed they were going to ask about the Flint water supply in Michigan and gun laws after Sandy Hook. Who would have ever seen that coming?
Fired. By the way, Donna Brazile got fired from CNN, and then Fox hires her.
Weird. Did she get fired from CNN because she was also appearing on Fox as a paid person on?
No credibility.
None.
It's not like she's great.
Yeah. Well, she's on Fox. Of course, she has no credibility.
Entertainment. It's not even good entertainment.
I know this.
No,
this
it's
unfair.
not even. You know what I mean? It's lies and stuff like the media. But at least it used to be fun. You know what I mean? You could upskirt whoever the main blonde was on Fox and Friends because they make her wear a skirt above the knee and sit in the middle of the couch. What's not to like there?
This never ends. It never ends. It's our way of life. It's something.
I know. It just never ends. I don't know how. I would take 2,000 opioids if I had to go through that. Who wouldn't?
we have to deal with, and it's maddening.
But when they
It
do
is
that,
crazy.
when they put somebody like
Yeah.
Adonna Brazil, not that she's effective, she's not effective.
No,
know,
so
but-
it's almost better that she's there because she's so ineffective. You know what I mean?
You are.
as
See,
much
you
as
are.
rather
That's
not
the
have.
difference. That's the difference. You are. You are the one. You think they're driving you crazy. You have no idea what you're doing to them. You're driving them insane, sir. They can't
shame.
touch
You
you.
know
They-
what?
I've been nuts for a long time. I mean, I wake up like a lot of. I wake up sweating. Sure. I mean, I can't even keep my sense of humor about this man. I'm so enraged. I can't even think. Am I able to make jokes today? I really have to. Luckily, I'm on a series of prescription drugs that are given to me by. Well, I borrowed them from my cleaning lady, but without those, legitimate, important drogas that I get, I don't know how. I mean, I've lost my mind clearly.
Should grab it and they should say, "Hey, we got the president and we're going to defend our." But they're not. They're going the
I thought he was talking about something else entirely.
way of CNN, and they're going away of MSDNC.
See what I did there?
And it's a shame. I mean, it's a
It
shame.
is.
When I see it, I watch it. I
How do
look
you
at the
even-
people they hire.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell you some of the anchors. They're so
Please do.
bad. They're so
Yeah.
bad.
Tell us.
And
Who?
at the same time,
Oh,
Fox
you're not
and
going-
Friends is terrific in the morning.
Right.
You know, they're good.
It is terrific in the morning. I mean, I'm too busy to watch, and it's work, but as president, I don't have time to watch these, but they're great. I watch the whole show.
well, you are a TV expert. I mean,
He totally is a TV expert. Absolutely. That's why he was a game show host,
there's no question.
where the premise of the show was, shouldn't people be embarrassed to have this asshole telling them how to conduct business?
Well, I have to be. I have no
The
choice
Apprentice
because otherwise you
and-
couldn't survive it.
You're a TV expert. The Apprentice and that other, what was the other thing? You had a big running show that wasn't based on a facade. What was it? It was another show, The Apprentice, and then something that wasn't The Apprentice at all. It was something else.
Sean is great, and Tucker's pretty good. You know, Tucker has his moments, in all fairness, but
Yeah, he's all right. I mean, I'm going to let him stick his, put a rubber glove on and stick his finger in my tuchus tomorrow, but
Tucker's pretty good. And Laura's been great, and we have a lot of good.
yeah. I mean, I only watch about. I can't keep track of all of it. As president, I can only watch 6 hours of cable news from one network a day. It's hard.
Stuff, but Fox is 50% of what they were. I would say less than 50.
Yeah, they're less than 50%. Cause I'm half the man I used to be, and I used to. All right.
But 50% of what they were. That's still better than nothing. At some point, maybe they'll go all the way, and that will be fine too. I'll figure that out.
I don't know. It depends on if your subscription goes up, the commercials will play.
the way, speaking of your effectiveness,
Oh yes, please. But enough about that. Let's talk about how effective you are. You attacked the virus. You put Alex Azar in charge, and then 2 months later, after he screwed the pooch, and you'd been golfing and having rallies in the middle of it, you put Mike Pence in charge, who just, watch that man fly. And you're like, you're going to protect the American people. That's the primary job of an American president, really, is to protect the American people, And luckily, you stopped the virus by throwing yourself in front of it.
I don't know if you've seen this,
Uh-oh.
but the NBA
You're not talking about his penis, are you? In ages.
has decided, NBA commissioner, they're going to pull their Black Lives Matter messaging next year. No longer going to be on the uniforms, no longer going to be on the basketball court. They're no longer going to. And I wonder why that is, Mr. President.
Because they are presuming that progress will be made, so the statement won't be necessary anymore. They're assuming, especially if Biden wins, that
Because their ratings have died.
Oh,
that's what it is. It has nothing to do with the fact that everyone's at a pandemic and you can't go to a game.
I
anymore.
wouldn't have known.
I haven't watched a basketball game, and I help them get open.
Yeah, honestly, he is. When you think basketball, you think That face. Largely because it's oftentimes the same color as a basketball. But still, that's got to count for something.
I haven't watched a basketball game.
You tried to help them. You
I
tried
can't follow it. I mean,
to help the NFL.
I
you tried to help the NFL. They don't appreciate it.
help the NFL.
Well, some of them appreciate it, just not certain. I don't know. It's kind of what color your team is the thing.
And then Roger, nice guy, Goodell, in his basement wearing a very tight blue T-shirt, and he's not meant for it.
Don't say anything. This is a private video he sent you. This is between the two of you.
Nor am I, nor are you. It's just one of those things, at a certain age you put on a
What was that?
tie, right? But what happens is he brought it up again.
Somebody's phone was ringing. Was that Rush?
I said to him, I taught you a lesson 2 years ago about standing for the flag. Their ratings went down the tubes. And now you look at everybody with their hands in the air, and they're kneeling, and
Their hands in their air, and they're kneeling, and they
just don't have the same interest.
No.
I'm Lauren Simonetti, and this.
Uh-oh. Wait, is it jump on the other page? I'm Lauren Simonetti, and this is something else.
The Fox Business Report.
Stocks are edging higher.
Oh, did the other page start? Wait, what happened? Hold on. I know. No, this still hasn't happened. I'm going to reload this page, because Tucker's supposed to be on at 5, is he? Are they going to go live to this Keister cam? Do we know? Is Trump still going to do it? Because that's what I'm really waiting for. We're just dicking around with this nonsense for a little bit. Load up. Come on, Fox page. What's wrong with you? The heck is going on with theirs? Enlarge the player. Sure, why not? Fascinating. Good luck. There it is. Fox News Channel. Coming up in just a little bit. Keister. Okay, they're in a commercial. Keister cam. That's what's happening. All right, we'll see if it comes back up or whatever. You guys have to let me know if this happens. This is this is gonna be gross. Almost.
After President Trump's economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, said that the president has higher following news at the
They just go to commercial in the middle of Russia's thing?
So hard for law and order. How hard is that?
He wouldn't do it.
This old, he wouldn't say law and order, except when he said law and order.
No, I got endorsed by New York's finest 1 month ago. And it's the first time
Yeah, they're regretting that now.
in the history of New York City that they've endorsed a
A
president.
lot of police organizations have endorsed you now.
Everybody.
All over the
I
country.
don't think anybody. In fact, I asked Biden at the debate, and of course, Chris Wallace cut it off. Didn't think it was appropriate. I said, name one police organization that endorsed you, Joe. Then I said, say law and order, Joe. Just law and order. He
Just
wouldn't
law and
do it.
order. Do you notice that? Say law and order, just law and order. So the problem was that he said law and order with justice. And he's like, you can't say it without adding stuff.
Why wouldn't he do that? I mean, what's so hard for...
I don't know. Why wouldn't he just repeat the words that come out of dear leader's mouth the way everyone else does?
Law and order. How hard is that?
How hard is it to say law and order, law and order? I can say it like 20 times, especially if I'm hopped up on European Sudafed. Holy shit. Does that have the arc? Let's get started. I can't wait till they... can we hear a real conversation between these assholes? Not we know this is on the air, but what do you use to put a little lead in the pencil after, because it's really depressing, you know what I mean? And I just feel like anything.
He wouldn't do it. Then I think he said law and order and safety. I said, no, just law and order.
Yeah, just say, no. Say my phrase. Don't say SVU or criminal intent. That's a bunch of bullshit. Although I enjoyed criminal intent. I thought it was charming.
It means safety. You don't have to add the word safety. That's a little net.
He didn't add the word safety. He had the word justice.
Let me tell you, if he got in, this country is going to hell. This country is going to
Yeah, it's doing so well right now. I mean, it's overwhelming.
go to hell.
What are you going to tell me? There's going to be soup lines and 20 million people out of work?
Oh,
like you've never seen. And
yeah, 1,000 people a day dying, you know.
you'll end up in a depression, the likes of which you haven't seen.
Nice. 383 patrons so far. Thank you guys, and welcome aboard the new ones. I opened up the $5 one because people wanted to jump in, and I appreciate you actually doing it. That was lovely, and thank you so much.
Since 19.
I look forward to seeing you all on the road and being able to institute a lot of the live perks that come with it.
29.
Okay, now, people are asking, when you say that, why would they want this? Why would the Democrats?
What? And now you say that Biden will turn America into a living hell. And why do they want that? It's almost, I don't know, it feels like they don't believe you.
Want to take this country into a recession and have it be so
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what I'm shooting for.
bad.
You know, like all actors and comedians and musicians, you know, what we want is America as poor and as separate as possible, because it's not like all artists make their living off the middle of the economic spectrum. I mean, we don't want to all perform on the back of a yacht for a Saudi prince, and you know, and people who can't pay their rent can't afford movie tickets either. So there's sort of a reason why your favorite artists in a big majority.
Hurricane Delta making landfall in Louisiana just moments ago, bringing damaging winds.
To draw us away from. Let's see if this flies on there. I'm waiting for this in the background. They're doing the weather, but that's, by the way, why the vast majority of artists always end up kind of leaning liberal and democratic is because they make their living off of movie tickets and live performance tickets. So what you want is a healthy society with an open mind that has extra money in their pocket, so they don't have to scrounge or you know, borrow money or use a credit card to see you live. See? We would like everybody to be able to afford a movie and some popcorn and a beverage and a nice night out and all that stuff, and not have to worry about whether or not they're going to be able to pay for their gas for the winter.
Economically, why would they want to do that?
I don't know. Probably just jealous.
Taxes are going up. Your regulations. You know, I did in the biggest tax cuts in history.
Not true.
Bigger than Reagan's tax cuts.
Not true.
I did something that was more important. I cut regulations that you couldn't build a highway in less than 10 years. I mean, it would take you 10 years to get approvals, and some much longer than that. One was.
He took the 10-year process, because a highway doesn't just go from through one state. It goes in 2 states, and the citizens of one state may have private land where the citizens of the other state do not. And therefore, the highway that they want to draw through Iowa or whatnot. By the way, this law that he's passing will not affect New York, California, Illinois, any of the states you think is solidly blue. What they will affect is Kansas, Wyoming, Idaho, North, South Dakota, that kind of stuff, where the land is open, because they won't. The federal highway department will not have to give a shit anymore about the individual states, and they will overrun the climate and the environmental rules of those states.
21 years, and they ended up not getting it.
Because the states didn't agree.
Get anything done. And I cut regulations to a level that now you can get things done or not done in 1 year. In other words,
yeah, you can get them done or not done. I mean, that's what we're really shooting for. Definitive.
May get disapproved because it's not safe or environmentally good, or a lot of good reasons.
Environmentally good.
But I cut regulations from 19 years to 1 year. I mean, you wouldn't even believe it.
No one does believe it. It just means they have to refile the same process every goddamn year. If they can't okay it in a year, they have to deny it in a year. If you're trying to make a highway and coordinate over vast periods of time with people buying and selling property, privately owned and state-owned and federal-owned lands being incorporated into this, you want 12 months to figure out a project that would create a highway connector between 2 states and over the land of those states, which one state really wants, but the other state doesn't? Guess which state's going to win? The state with the most money. So you guess what states are going to get trampled? These little red states, the flyovers. He doesn't give a shit.
Had to go through the same agency 14 different times.
Right, and once again, you have to
Now you have to do it 14 different times every frigging year.
be the one to tell the story.
I have to be the one. Yeah, no.
Yeah, nobody understands it. Nobody understands how great I am. And then they ask questions that I have to answer with a follow-up.
Seems to be able to tell it properly.
By the way,
HalSparks, Obama had the biggest tax cut in history. His cuts on top of the Bush cuts made Obama the biggest in history.
what's the status of the stimulus package now?
Yeah, what is it?
The COVID stimulus package.
So I'd like to see it happen because it wasn't. Look, a lot of people are being hurt because of China. It wasn't these people's fault. I would like to see a bigger stimulus package, frankly, than either the Democrats or the Republicans are.
Oh, well, then tell your people to sign off on the $2.6 trillion. What's the problem?
I'm going in the exact opposite now, okay? I mean, I'm telling you this. I'm telling you something I don't tell anybody else.
Maybe tell Steve Mnuchin, because he's negotiating on your behalf with as part of the administration with the Republicans and the Democrats in the Senate. Because then it would be 2 against 1 against Mitch McConnell.
Because maybe it helps or maybe it hurts.
Maybe it hurts. Maybe it helps. I don't know, something.
Negotiations. I would like to see a bigger package. I'd like to see money going to people.
Gee, you think? With my name on the check.
It was not their fault that China...
We know.
...sent in the plague.
It might be their fault that they elected you and got you, and you let it get out of Washington State and waited to lock down travel from Europe even when Italy was really, really bad because you thought white Europeans okay, China poor people bad, and it was the actual strain from Europe that's in Los Angeles.
Wasn't their fault, and China's going to pay a big price. You know, China was going to catch us in 2019. If you look back 15, 20 years ago, everybody said by 2019 China will beat us.
Yeah, that's because they were buying the line that China was selling. Not because of the truth.
Was beating them so badly. You know, we were doubling up. We were doing great until the plague came in, and we're still...
Actually, the recession hit in February.
Beating them badly. We'll still be. If you have a smart guy at top, you'll always beat him. You know, they're paying us billions and billions of dollars in tariffs. People don't
Trade deficit's up.
When I made the deal, they're paying billions of dollars. I gave
no, they don't, and people don't know what that means. I don't know.
No, what they do know is that China can create its own money. It can literally print its own money and devalue its currency, so it can pay a bunch of money that isn't actually worth anything.
How does that benefit them? That China's paying billions and billions and billions,
billions of dollars. Well, they devalue their currency and they make it impossible to compete because they devalue their currency. You know, their currency manipulated.
So basically, what you're saying is that your tariffs mean nothing.
And they devalue their currency.
Oh yes, police check the Washington Post and the New York Times bombshell just released. This pig got $30 million 7 weeks before his campaign. Pull it up, Hal. Yeah, I saw that. So this is. For those of you that don't know, and I'll play him while
and therefore the dollar, they're using dollars of a different value, and it makes it very easy for them to compete, whereas we don't do that. We don't play.
So China, if you don't know, China has dollars of a different value, economically speaking. I mean, this might be a little mumbo-jumbo for some of you folks, but they apparently use dollars of a different value. So wait, here we go. Let me open this page up. So the tax records that they have show that ooh, this is good. This was a story, I tweeted this out earlier because this came out of Vegas. But Trump engineered a sudden windfall in 2016 as campaign funds dwindled. There it is. Tax records expose more than $21 million in highly unusual payments from Las Vegas hotel Donald Trump owns with Phil Ruffin, routed through other Trump campaigns and paid out as cash. Donald J. Trump needed money. Gee, you think, wow, everything old is new again. His self-funded presidential campaign was short on funds, and he was struggling to win over leery Republican donors. His golf courses and hotel would soon open. The old post office in Washington were eating away cash that he left on hand. His tax records show. 2016, Deutsche Bank, the last big lender still doing business with him, unexpectedly turned down his request for a loan after he'd sued them. The funds, Mr. Trump had told his bankers, would help shore up his Turnberry Golf Resort in Scotland. They didn't believe him because they noticed that he was funneling money from someplace else. Yeah. Some bankers feared the money would instead be diverted to his campaign. Gee, you think? That January, Mr. Trump sold a lot of stock, $11 million worth. He sold another 11.8 worth in February and 7.5 million in March. And in April, he sold 8 million more. This wasn't just to run his campaign. This was this directly was, to run his companies. He needed operating cash. And the president's long-hidden tax records obtained by the New York Times also reveal this, how he engineered a sudden financial windfall, more than $21 million, in what experts describe as a highly unusual one-off payments from the Las Vegas hotel he owns with his friend, the casino mogul, Phil Ruffin. No relation to Teddy Ruxpin. In previous articles on the tax records, the Times reported that in all but a few years since 2000, chronic business losses and aggressive accounting strategies had allowed Mr. Trump to largely avoid paying federal income taxes. And while the hundreds of $million earned from The Apprentice and his attendant celebrity rescued his business career, those riches, together with the marketing power of the Trump brand, were ebbing when he announced his 2016 presidential run, because it was basically a PR attack and he didn't expect to win. The new findings cast light on Mr. Trump's financial maneuverings in that time of fiscal turmoil and unlikely political victory. And indeed, they may offer a hint to one of the enduring mysteries of his campaign. In its waning days, as his own giving had slowed to a trickle, Mr. Trump contributed $10 million, leaving many people wondering where the burst of cash had come from. Tax records, by their nature, do not specify whether the more than $21 million in payments from the Trump Ruffin Hotel helped prop up Mr. Trump's campaign, his businesses, or both, but they do show how cash flowed in a chain of transactions to several Trump-controlled companies and then directly to Mr. Trump himself. The bulk of the money went through a company called Trump Las Vegas Sales and Marketing that had little previous income, no clear business purpose, and no employees. There it is. None. The news, the coronavirus outbreak at Amy Coney Barrett's school could derail her confirmation hearing. I mean, have we seen a bigger example of her judgment than attending that stupid super spreader event? Okay, so experts in tax and campaign finance law consulted by the Times said that while more information was needed to assess the legitimacy of the payments, they could be legally problematic. Why all of a sudden does the company have more than $20 million in fees that haven't been there before? Gee, who paid them? Where did it come from? Who wrote the checks where the money came in? And all this money is going to a man who just happens to be running for president and might not have a lot of cash on hand? Yes, it's a hinky, I think is the word we like to use. Unless the payments were for actual business expenses, he said, claiming a tax deduction for them would be, what's that word right there? What is that word? It's the opposite of law and order. That's what that is. If they were not legitimate and were also used to fund Mr. Trump's presidential run, they could be considered illegal campaign contributions. Now, honestly, most of them probably went to porn stars and abortions. So I don't know that you would count those as in-kind contributions. In response to questions about the Times findings, White House spokesman Judd Deere referred to this article as yet another politically motivated hit piece, inaccurately smearing a standard business deal. He added that during his years as a successful businessman, Donald Trump is longtime partners with Phil Ruffin and earned whatever payments he received. Spokeswoman for Mr. Ruffin, Jennifer Renzelman, said Mr. Ruffin was not involved in the day-to-day operations of the hotel, adding that all tax statements go to the people who work on those taxes. It is fair to say that over the years, Mr. Ruffin has been very generous to his friend when Mr. Trump took the Miss Universe to where in 2013? To Moscow in 2013. The two men flew over together on Mr. Ruffin's private jet. He would contribute more than $2.5 million to Mr. Trump's campaign and his ill-starred foundation and its inaugural. Of course, none of that went to the actual people. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. After inauguration, Mr. Ruffin would ask for a favor, Would the president help revive a dormant project of great importance to a lot of powerful people in Las Vegas? A bullet train that would whisk gamblers from Southern California to the Strip in less than 90 minutes. 4 years earlier, Barack Obama's administration had considered but ultimately decided against a $5.5 billion loan for the train. Mr. Trump loved the idea. Yes, because they're big fans of saving gas and environmentally friendly things. Mr. Ruffin told Forbes that in 2017, Obama wouldn't approve it, but maybe Donald will. What Mr. Trump did after that is not clear, but around Las Vegas, word of the president's interest was gratefully received. Anybody having the president's here genuinely, not just having a meeting and have it fall into an empty basket that is 12 miles deep, I'm in favor of it. So yeah, anyways, that's fun. You can dig into that. I'm sure Rachel will be up in that like crazy tonight. After office, can Donald Duck go to prison? Yeah, it's entirely possible. That's a whole different thing. Professional quality cookware, made in cookware. Cookware a country? What happened? I'm Abraham Lincoln. Get out and away from me. Is that Kingsley? What's her name? Democracy. It's in your hands. That's kind of creepy. Weird languaging on that when you say. Did you see Chris Christie is still in the hospital? Tomorrow will make it a week. Trump hasn't mentioned him once. Anyone seen Pence today? They were saying his pink eye is a COVID-19 syndrome. Oh, worse than that, we all watched. He sounded like shit at that rally he did.
Games like that. Some people say we should. I don't have a viewpoint, but they devalue their currency and they do all sorts of things. And what they do in the World Trade Organization, we just won a case, $7.5 billion. First time we've won a case in a long time. I said, look, I'm going to get out of the World Trade Organization if I have to, just like I got out of the world.
Who brought that case that's been sitting there for a while? Who brought it? Hold on, I've got to connect my headphones to be able to work. This is what happens when we go long on, here we go. And then we'll turn this on. Who actually brought that lawsuit? The Obama administration. It's just been in process this whole time.
So we were paying $500 million a year in World Health. China's paying $39 million a year in World.
Yeah, and what you get for that fee is not overall safety for the entire world. It's the fee that you get to, protect just your country, because that's the whole point of an organization. When you get together with somebody else, is for you to get a direct quality output equal to your input. It's not alliances. What are you talking about?
Health. I say, why are they paying? They're a bigger country. Why are they paying so much less? I asked these, little stupid questions like that. Nobody could give me an answer. And yet they dominate the World Health.
Because we care more about it than they do.
They dominate World Health. And World Health, when they did this horrible thing to us, World Health did nothing whatsoever to help us.
We had 40 people, along with the World Health Organization people, that were being kept out, and he could have forced China to do it, but he didn't want to do it because he thought it would endanger his trade deal, and he didn't think it was a big deal.
We're at $500 million here, so I terminated the deal.
Well, they're in the tank. They're in the tank for the
totally
shotgun.
In the tank.
Yeah, they're totally in the tank. I mean, honestly, they're in the pocket of big opioid. I mean, not opioid, big Sudafed. Sorry, big Adderall. God damn it.
I got to make an observation here, sir.
World Trade.
Please do.
By the way, same thing about World Trade. Do you know in World Trade, China is considered a developing nation?
Yeah, it's almost like they have as many people below the international standard for poverty as we have in our entire country.
If you're a developing nation, you get tremendous advantages in the World Trade Organization.
You get your hand in the back pocket of the United States Treasury is what you get.
100%. And I
100%. So you get your hand in the back pocket of the United States Treasury 100%. China owns 8% of our national debt, and it gets that money, that ownership, by buying treasuries, just like anybody else does. They have been, because they're short on U.S. funds, for the last 4 years, selling those treasuries. The Fed and the Treasury, when they buy them back, scuttle them and make them disappear as paid off. They buy them back at a rate, and then they take them off the books. That the amount of our debt held by China has gone down in the last 10 years. The vast majority of our national debt is taken from the Social Security Trust Fund and the taxes that come in from that. We have to pay it back with interest to make sure that Social Security can continue to pay out.
Ended that. I said, I'm not going to accept that they're a developing nation. I wouldn't say China's in love with me, by the way. China is dying. Here's what will happen. Just
China is dying.
A couple of predictions.
This is the President of the United States, by the way. I mean, like this is diplomacy.
If I win, we'll have a great deal with Iran within 1 month. They're dying to have me lose, but if I win,
they're dying. Period.
A great deal on what?
No.
Yeah, on what? No, a great deal on. They'll start buying Betsy DeVos's family's electronics again.
Nuclear weapons.
No nuclear weapons.
Don't forget. Look at what's happened to terrorism. Iran was a very wealthy nation.
China will surpass the U.S. by 2030. No, they won't. They have other fish to fry. Victory shout. I've been there a bunch. It's like the town in Blazing Saddles. It's largely a set that you're watching in the Chinese economy. And it's one of the reasons why they're trying to build an internal economy separate from the rest of the world.
Given $150 billion plus
Which one? Gonzo's comment. Which one? Delusional moment? Did I miss it? No booming economy. The Fed cut interest rate 3 times in 2019 and again to 0%. Yeah, 0.25% in March this year. Fed doesn't cut rates on a good economy. Trump claims this too much. Yes, we had entered into a recession in February due to this. He was bitching about quantitative easing even then.
$8 billion in cash by Obama. A very wealthy nation, and now they're a very poor nation. And the terrorists...
Right. One of the things that they were ultimately making money on, and by the way, Russia is feeding them backdoor resources. He doesn't care.
I knock on wood as I say it because it's easier to start something, but they're not fighting like they used to. You know why they have no money? Because Iran is bust. Iran is bust because of me, because of sanctions and other things. And the whole picture of terror, you don't see the terror. Now, I hate to say it on an important show like this, but I'll...
Yeah, go ahead. Say it. This is important.
Say it. You don't see the terror the way you used to see the terror. And they know if they do anything against us, they'll pay 1,000-fold problem. They're going to have 1,000-fold difference because they know
they'll have
we are going to...
They'll have 1,000-fold problem.
Do things to you that have never been done before.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Did he?
We are going to do... If they do anything against us, they'll pay 1,000-fold problem. They're going to have 1,000-fold difference because they know we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
Oh, whoever did this edited it out. Did you hear that? They cut the F-bomb out. So this might be the they gave a 7-second dump. That's what went out on the air. Oh, hold on. Give me a second. That's hilarious. And so I'm so overtaxing my computer today. It's hilarious. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm firing something up. Yeah, on the air and broadcast, and I'm sure they did this legitimately for for legal reasons on Russia's show. They can't let the F-bomb go out over the airwaves, so they have a dump button. Now, why they would have a dump button engaged when the President of the United States would go out on, that's amazing. I mean, it might be just a habit, and they always have it around. But let's see. Let's see if I find. Yeah, here you go. This is the... Going to take a second for a look. Things that no one ever did. Right. They have a Trump button. Yeah, that's what they'll rename it that after all this. I don't know why. Hold on. Gotta find it. There he is. Okay.
And Iran knows that, and they've been...
Whoa. Hold on. That was loud. Sorry. Bring it down a little bit. Play.
around with us. If you do something bad to us,
There we go.
and Iran knows that, and they've been put on notice, if you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
Promises, promises. Whoosh. Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar. Yeah, so if you F around with us, I mean, I swear on here sometimes, but only when I want to, legitimately. You know what I mean? When, yeah. Yeah, I know every live show has it. That's the point. The fact is that they have to have it for the president of the United States shows what a low standard he means. But I'm sure I can't wait till Kayleigh McEnany, you know, cross ablazing, comes out and defends his F-bomb on there and goes, this president's taking security so much more seriously than any other president. This is why he says he's very passionate about these things.
And they understand that. But here's the...
Notice he never... Hal, I don't hear Trump raspy or coughing in this interview. Earlier in the day, by the
they're
way,
no longer rich.
Everybody has a good window.
And they're not giving out hundreds of millions of dollars to...
But he also has a... you know, they retaped this and rolled it. So
Hamas.
Who knows if they...
All these other groups that caused all the problem. Now, nobody brings that out. When was the last time you saw an attack?
I hear the frustration in your voice. I need to make an observation here for the American people.
Yeah, you that word illegally.
We've now been chatting with the president for an hour, and an hour and 42 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We have not had a commercial break. I would thus have to say the president's status with COVID-19 is pretty solid. The second thing that I would say is that not once during the hour and 42 minutes has the president been stumped. Has he not known?
That's because you're asking him the same shit he says every day. That's like going, I've been handing this chimp bananas all day, and he has never been confused on how to open one.
He wanted to say, sir, you give the media in this country more access than any president ever. That's not even a...
When's your last negative test?
Test. I think you've done something brilliant too, right, when you have your little press gaggles out on your way to Marine One. The camera's on you, not them. You look like you're actually conducting an orchestra as you point to various members of the media when it's their turn. You're conducting a symphony, and everybody hears them screaming their questions at you like a bunch of 6-year-olds, and you answer them. Every question you're asked, you answer. You don't take a pass on anything.
Yes, he does. What are you talking about? I watch these things every day. I keep freezing. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix that. My laptop is cooking. I think it's because I have 2 video sources going at once, and it's too much for this to go. Yeah. So I think it's because I have the Fox Live thing behind it running at the same time till Tucker comes on. So maybe if I stop that, that'll help. And it'll smooth things out, maybe. We'll see. Possibly. He spent 2 hours on the air.
And you don't run away from anything. You don't hide from anything.
Where are your taxes? Why don't you release your taxes?
And you'll meet them wherever they happen to be if you're able.
Yeah. So, hold on. There we go. I do need the fan.
You will. And I think people need to keep this in mind in terms of a chief executive who is accessible to the American people and wants the American people to know what he's doing and what he's thinking. There's no deception here. You have somebody. I don't want to embarrass you here, but you have somebody who thinks this country is great. You have somebody that loves this country, perhaps in ways that many people in politics in the past don't.
They don't know.
Because their view of what America is a nation among many in the world. President Trump believes in America first, and for this he's hated. For this he's criticized. America first. There's nothing wrong with America first because America's the good guys. We are the good guys in the world. We are the solution to the world's problems.
Hold on.
You have a.
Oh, I know why it's jumping. Sorry. That's part of what's up here. Got this. Like, this is waiting before this goes on. Hopefully, I'll get back up and running. Give me a second. Let me know if it smooths out, guys. I apologize. It should get a little smoother in here as I cool the place off. Frozen. Hold on, I'll switch cameras, see if that helps at all. Maybe so. It looks a little smoother. Why can't he debate like this, though? Yeah, he can't. Reboot. You think so? It's working for me, and my internet is boondocks crap. Good night. Oh, good night, Francie. Is it frozen, or are we okay? Did it open back up? Is everything faster? Is it all right? Is it smoothing out? It looks like it's smoothing out on my end a little bit. Copy? Not yet, still jumpy? Okay. I'll see what I can do. I'm seeing a little bit of motion over on this side. I'll restart this guy. Very frozen. Good stuff. Take your time. Can't step right. I'm trying. Still dragging. All right. I'll try to do this. All right. Nice, better, smooth. Smoothing now. Yeah, okay. So it's good. It should be starting to smooth out. I've just been overtaxing my stuff. There we go. Yeah, I see it. Okay. So it might be because I have a good face when I'm looking for, like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. That's it. All right. So, yeah. All right, here we go. That's much better. 80s cartoon speed. Okay, reload your page. It should be better. Okay, good. I don't know what that was. It might have been just, and here's the thing. I can spend all the time hitching all my stuff and fixing everything. And yet still, I have a high-speed fan on my computer. I need to, like, rest it in a bucket of ice during this show sometimes. That helped a lot, though. Cooling the room started to help. Yeah. Okay. Aria on MSNBC was comparing Biden's lead to battleground states less than Hillary's at the same time before election. Your thoughts? That's, well, no. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's accurate. I think he's checking different ones. I don't think, but the aggregate wasn't that way. The aggregate had her way closer. I have Jackson Brown here. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I'm not my thoughts. It's pretty cascading. It's true. Hi. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. All right. Yeah, I think I might just let my hair grow. Just go full on, Even even when it, grow a mustache, go full Sam Elliott. Why not? Yeah, I think it's. I think cooling off the room helped a lot. I think it was getting hot in here. I know. Take off all your clothes. I get it. Fox nonsense going on.
And here.
I have to reload this page on the Fox Live thing. I mean, I don't know. I think people will probably be streaming this thing when it happens. But there's no man buns. No, that's not going to happen. All right, like I said, we're going full mullet. I just need to tighten the sides. Yes, the pre-talk soup hair, the big long mane. It kept me from getting hired for 10 years.
That's not an easy thing to do for a man who's desperate.
Oh, okay, here we go. This is Tucker's
be loved. So you've got to ask yourself, why is he
doing it? When is it happening? I don't
doing it?
understand.
It's happening right now. It's interesting.
And if you don't let me talk to your manager immediately, I'm going to have to put my foot down, and you will not get my business anymore, sir.
Repeatedly, Biden has been asked in recent weeks whether he plans to pack the Supreme Court with
And he is saying, I'm not going to answer it because, one, it's going to take up the entire news cycle and take it away from what's important, and two, take away a very good piece of leverage that warns people in the Republican Party who know that they're going to lose, that if they mess around and shove Amy Coney Barrett through, they're going to end up with 4 people on the court, maybe. How about that? Why would you... If you have an intruder in your house, and you may or may not have a gun to protect yourself, right? Would you shout out to the person coming in that you didn't have a gun, or that you weren't planning to use one, or that you were inclined not to? Or that you thought you're comfortable with using a gun, but only in certain circumstances?
and Democrats if he's elected?
I don't know.
The answer is obvious. Of course I would never do that. I'm not a radical. I'm moderate. I'm from Scranton. You can trust me. And in fact, that's essentially the answer Biden has given on a bunch of different issues, like a fracking ban or the Green New Deal.
Right, which you can actually read his policy positions on, but I don't read, even though I dress like someone who does.
Support those things. Now he claims he doesn't support them.
When did Rick Springfield get a talk show? Are you okay?
It's an election year. He wants to win. He'll say anything.
I'm very flattered.
But again, what's weird
is here's Joe Biden, 3 years older than Trump, running up a hill when Donald Trump can't even walk down a ramp. That's weird.
That Biden isn't trying to reassure you that he won't pack the Supreme Court.
Because tactically that's dumb. Why would you give away a potential tool that you have?
Most Americans don't want him to do that. They don't want to destroy an entire branch of government, turn it into a political judiciary. They know that's a bad idea. But again, Biden is refusing to reassure them.
Why do they need reassuring? He's ahead by 11 points.
What does that tell you?
It tells me that they don't take their cues on how they address strategy from Tucker Carlson.
It tells you that packing the Supreme Court is the one thing Joe Biden is certain to do if he's elected.
And that's what they want you to think.
Listen to his answer on the question from yesterday.
Good.
Notice he doesn't even bother with a colorful story. Here it is.
You'll know my opinion of court packing when the election is over. Now look, I know it's a great question, y'all, and I don't blame you for asking it. But you know, the moment I answer that question, the headline in every one of your papers will be about that.
Yeah. Biden says they won't pack the court. Liberals freaking out because he's going to let Amy Coney Barrett sit there until there's a day. Biden says he will pack the court. It's the leading a firestorm of, speeding Republicans to push through Amy Coney Barrett yeah.
We showed that clip to you last night. We just showed it to you again because we wanted to make sure it was real.
In all fairness, somebody said, in all fairness, the night before the election, Hillary was up 14 points. In all fairness, that's how old the girl is that Trump is accused of raping.
And imagining it. It's that strange. Biden's official articulated, planned out, scripted position is that voters are not entitled to know.
No, the other side is not entitled to use the strategy that they are considering for political gain.
What he will do.
Because the people voting for him aren't worried about it.
Their government if they elect him.
If they elect him, oh my goodness. My.
Which, if you think about it, is itself a pretty clear.
Honestly, this is the Manhood Network
answer to the question. It's not like he's never.
I am indeed reading a combination of things. My Restream chat shows me everybody.
Thought about the subject of packing the court. Joe Biden.
Did he pack your court, Tucker? Is that what you're feeling? Are these the first time having these feelings? You've been packing your own court. Did Mother walk in? She just wanted to bring you a beverage and some cookies. She didn't realize you would be doing that with a blindfold on.
Sat on the Senate Judiciary Committee for decades, famously. At one point, the specific issue came up during a hearing. Here's what Biden said about it.
President Roosevelt clearly had the right to send to the United States Senate and the United States Congress a proposal to pack the court. It was totally within his right to do that. He violated no law. He was legalistically absolutely correct, but it was a bonehead idea. It was a terrible, terrible mistake to make, and it put in question, for an entire decade, the independence of the most significant body, including...
So, take that as his answer. Be happy and vote for Biden on the right if you believe that that's the issue.
In the Congress, in my view, the most significant body in this country, the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
It was legalistically correct.
Yeah, it was. It's within his right.
And then Biden was inarticulate. But he did say very clearly...
Oh, was he inarticulate? Sorry, guys. Did you guys not understand what he actually said?
Court packing is a, quote, terrible, terrible...
When you say it, it sounds so dirty, Tucker.
...mistake. It would ruin the integrity of the judicial branch.
Kind of the way you ruin ice cream whenever you go into an ice cream store for everyone forever.
That's not a profound insight. In fact, it's the consensus view of historians and judges and has been for decades.
Don't say has been when Trump's going to be your guest.
Once again, polls show Americans agree. They oppose court packing. It's not a partisan issue. It's common sense. The system has worked this way for hundreds of years. Let's not...
Yeah, but we have more circuits now because we have more people. That's like saying if we add states, we shouldn't add senators. Alaska and Hawaii got senators after that, and representation, but they got 2 senators each as soon as they were added to the Union. Even though just having mainland American senatorial representation had worked very well up till then, we've got 13 circuits now.
Now, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, of all people, had the same view, and she said so just last year.
Yeah, I know you're really concerned about what Ruth Bader Ginsburg thinks.
Have heard that there are some people on the Democratic side who would like to increase the number of judges. I think that was a bad idea when President Franklin Delano Roosevelt tried to pack the court. If anything would make the court appear partisan, it would be that. One side saying, when we're in power, we're going to enlarge the number.
Yeah, that's why Biden's not saying anything to spook you.
So that's one of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's final wishes that we're ignoring, apparently. But it's pretty...
What's the other one? What's the actual final wish that you're ignoring?
Convenient nevertheless. So how is the Biden campaign explaining this away? Well, they put some thought into the question. Just before the last vice presidential debate, the Biden campaign apparently got an intern to Google up some facts to justify court packing. They came up with Abraham Lincoln, probably a few minutes before Kamala Harris took the stage. They handed her the notes, and she repeated it. Here's what she said.
Abraham Lincoln was up for re-election, and it was 27 days before the election.
Yeah, you can't play a clip from this and use a split screen when all we're going to stare at is his lizard eye the whole time. Seriously, what are you going to do? Play a clip from later with the fly on his head and ask me questions about what he said? Are you kidding me? Seriously. Seriously? Look at that. Look at that. What is that? I swear to God. If he was a Democrat, there would be hundreds of videos about how he's a lizard person. Remember when during the primary, Biden had that blood vessel in his eye that burst? Remember that? Tucker likes anal. We don't fault him on that. If that's what he likes, that's fine. As long as it's consensual and with an adult. I mean, it doesn't seem to be the modus operandi of the company he keeps, but hope springs eternal.
And a seat became open on the United States Supreme Court. Abraham Lincoln's party was in charge not only of the White House, but the Senate.
I don't care.
Honest Abe said it's not the right thing to do. The American people deserve to make the decision about who will be the next president of the United States. And then that person can select who will serve for a lifetime on the highest court of
Yeah, he's got COVID pink eye.
our land.
So that's Kamala Harris's version of American history. It's not correct, not surprisingly. She really mentions it, but Harris actually didn't grow up in this country. She moved to Quebec when she was 12, and she didn't come.
What? The part of Canada where they speak French? What the? She didn't grow up in this country. She doesn't know what this country's about.
Back until after high school.
After high school? Well, I mean, you might as well. I don't know why she doesn't talk like this then, you know. That's the problem if you ever catch her lying around and doing the thing and all this, you know. That's the problem with Kamala Harris, is that when you catch her not pretending to be black, she'll talk like this all the time. That's right. She's really, if you think about it, she's as Quebec as the first mix of the Bon Jovi record Slippery When Wet. Recorded in Quebec. But most people don't know that, so I will give you a side things. Someone is using gay shame comments? I don't think so. I think we're talking about submission versus domination. I don't necessarily, I mean, he could like being pegged for all we know. Again, nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. I don't think that has anything to do with actual, your sexual identity. Depends on whether you're on the receiving end or the giving end, and if that matters to you in your belief about the status of other people, and you consistently use that as a cudgel, inverting it brings up the point that you are hypocritical and clearly hiding something from the public, because it's not Lindsay's sexuality we have against him, it's his hypocrisy, y'all.
So if the question is, what's the...
It's a pretty... That's not my impersonation of Jean Chrétien, Mary Lake. Don't think that for a second. This is my impersonation of Kamala Harris. This is what she sounds like whenever you get her in a meeting, yeah? They had to dub in. They have someone dubbing everything she does. You don't know this? They have a voiceover actor who works on mostly anime, who does her voice.
Of Canada, for the record, it's a place called Ottawa. Kamala Harris.
Ottawa. Holy shit. Check this asshole out trying to make Ottawa sound like an African word. Ottawa? What the shit? She used to go to a place called Team Hortons to get some beverage called coffee. Holy shit. Ottawa? I can't jump back on this because it's live.
Harris could probably tell you.
I don't know.
But when it comes to Abraham Lincoln, she's completely at sea. None of what she said
was... You guys, but not for me. I don't know why that is. What's happening? Oh, did my...
True. Michael Burlingame would know. He runs the Lincoln Studies Department at the University of Illinois at Springfield, and he was baffled by what he saw at the VP debate. I've never seen anything like that quote in all my 36 years of Lincoln research.
So I don't hear anything. Hold on. So aggravating. After I try all these things, and then they mess with me.
Burlingame later said. In fact, Lincoln didn't immediately nominate a new Supreme Court justice before the 1864 election because he couldn't. The Senate was not in session at the time, and in
That's weird. The Senate wasn't in session either.
1964, there were fewer direct flights to Washington. Senators couldn't just hop on a red eye from California to come in and vote. Things moved more slowly.
For me, 'cause it's just...
In December, the day after the Senate reconvened, President Lincoln immediately nominated a replacement to the court. So
after the election,
Kamala Harris's...
Here's the issue. Tucker. Puddin'. I know that we're supposed to take you more seriously since your mom stopped picking your bow ties, but since your testicles haven't dropped and you still have Ben Shapiro's larynx on back order, he waited. Here's the question is ultimately, is it right or is it wrong? The problem is, the answer is, it's wrong. By not only generalized human standards, but by the very standard Republicans were fighting for when Merrick Garland was up. So it's beyond whether or not the historical argument, even though Kamala Harris brought it up and made a valuable point about it, is that, you know, Lincoln waited until after the election to present someone. The issue is that you and your party are liars and hypocrites and devoid of all morality and are trying to skate by on a technicality.
Version isn't real. It didn't happen. It was her version of the corn pop story. It was colorful but entirely made up.
Hal, what about Trump stopping mail-in ballots, 190,000 votes in Iowa because a judge ruled in his favor? Those people will still get to vote.
Not a fantasy is their plan. It's hard to believe, but this is real. Their plan to completely change our American form of government. That's what
they're going to completely change our American form of government. Because adding a few judges to the Supreme Court, in theory, or not, because they wouldn't say either way, would totally change. I mean, after this, we would, of course, no longer have a Senate and a Congress or a president at all. We'd obviously have a prayer circle, and no one would be allowed to talk unless you passed them the talking feather. And we would have a king appointed by a system of elders from Ottawa.
very close to happening, closer than a lot of Republicans want to admit, and you should be worried about it.
I am worried. I'm very worried. You know what I'm more worried about is why they put so much blush on your cheeks and also on the sides of your nose. You just keep turning your head while they're doing it, and they accidentally brush the blush onto the sides. I don't understand the technique here.
For details on what they plan to do if elected, we're joined now by Judge Jeanine Pirro. She's the host of Court.
Oh, wow. What a catch. How in the world did he manage to get such a hard-to-reach guest?
Of Justice with Judge Jeanine.
Oh, I see. She's
on Fox.
She's also on the network.
News, and the author of the book Don't Lie to Me and Stop Trying to Steal Our Freedom.
Couldn't decide on one title? Don't Lie to Me doesn't work because people... Stop Trying to Steal Our Freedom is added so that people don't think you wrote that as a note to Trump and sent it to sit on his desk.
Joins us now. Judge, thanks so much for coming on. So how hard would it be...
Thanks, Tucker. So glad to be.
Democrats were to take the...
I know you had a real guest, but they brought me in at the last second.
White House and both chambers in the Congress for them to enlarge, to pack the Supreme Court.
By the way, if anyone points out that Judge Jeanine and I have the same hair right now, you're fired.
Well, I don't think there's any question but that they want to pack the Supreme Court because the Democrats, when they can't get their way, they don't follow the Constitution, precedent, or the law.
The precedent is Merrick Garland. It's quite recent precedent, actually.
Just have a hissy fit and decide.
Is this a hissy fit, or is this an actual complaint based on recent history?
How they're going to change things. They don't like the Electoral College because that's how Donald Trump got elected, so now they want to change it to the popular
Oh, that was nice. She at least admits he lost the popular vote. That's a start.
vote. But what they intend to do, when they're laughing at the people who support them and they're lying to the rest of us when they say...
Wait, who am I laughing at and who am I lying to? I'm getting confused.
Look, the issue of who the next Supreme Court...
Oh, Trump is on? Uh-oh. We got to reload the page. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see. Good stuff. That's exciting. Come on, reload, you rat. Get it in there. Hold on. Give me a second. I bring the page up. I've learned not to leave the screen up while I'm reloading a page like that because it eats a lot of energy. Hold on one second. That was what was causing the choppiness. Christie is now on remdesivir. Jesus. Here we go. Is he in person? My hair isn't longer. I washed it.
But it really was something. I took a certain medicine that was, very miraculous to me, I think. I really don't believe it's just in the head either. I think I really believe it worked.
Were you scared? Were you frightened?
Well, I took the Regeneron
No, you didn't. You took REGN/CoV2. That's the medicine made by. Hold on, I got to bring this up. That's the medicine made by the company Regeneron. You did not swallow a building in Sacramento. Hold on, I got to bring this up again. Here. Damn it. Play.
And Eli Lilly makes a similar.
By the way, I don't think we're actually watching. Pardon me for pointing this out. I don't think we're actually watching a medical evaluation of any merit.
Very similar medicine, but you have Regeneron, you have the Eli Lilly version of it.
So they're just cheating. They're looking on each other's papers, kind of like when you were in school.
And it just, within a period of 24 hours, I felt very different. I think I could have left the...
Jeez, couldn't have been the oxygen, the hydration, the lactated ringer, the detoxing from all the shit you pour into your body?
Hospital a lot earlier.
Regeneron.
But it made a tremendous difference, Mark, and, markedly so. And
markedly so? It's good. All right, so we're getting brain skips now.
I just felt very good. You would have sort of a sore throat, just to add to what we were saying, but I felt...
You had a sore throat, which your doctor said you did not have.
Really very, very good after taking this for a period of time. It's a
How long did you take it?
It's fusion, not a shot. And
tell us the difference.
I'd like to send it to everybody. In fact, I've said I'm going to send it to everybody that's got the problem, and we're going to send it.
You're going to send it to everybody that's got the problem. So do we keep it in our fridge?
Free of charge.
Free of charge. Everybody gets it. There's only 50,000 doses in the whole country, but okay.
Including seniors, of course, but we're going to send...
We have more than 50,000 seniors that have the disease.
To everybody.
Did you want to leave earlier, the hospital earlier than they said?
I did.
Yeah. Tell us, Doc, hey, why did I turn into Marty McFly all of a sudden? Hey, Doc, tell him stories about people who are deluded in the hospital who start getting up and pulling their tubes out of their neck.
President.
They wanted to keep me for observation. They wanted to be sure it was good, but I did. I was there for, I guess, 3.5 days. They wanted to keep me...
Yeah, did they? So they wanted to keep you there for observation, and you checked yourself out of the hospital.
I wanted to leave after the first day. I really...
Yeah, and they were like, hey, asshole, you'll die.
Felt I was in not bad shape.
Same tie? That's right. This is totally pre-recorded. Good eye, Queen Faye. Yeah, he's been wearing this same outfit for 3 days.
After the first day. I think I would have been in much worse shape had I...
Yeah, this is Donald John Trump for adrenochrome.
Taking this medication.
How long did they want to keep you, the doctors?
I don't know exactly, but they kept me for the time I...
Okay. So what you just saw there, and I wish I could jump back, and we'll do this perhaps later. What you just saw the doctor do was ask the question, exhale, and wait. Meaning that he's not directly interacting with him this entire time. They're doing edits.
Stayed for the time that they need.
If he's even actually on the line while he's being asked, or he's sending them the questions ahead of time and they backdraft it.
Me. And they've done a lot of tests. They've done tremendous testing. And right now I'm medication free. I'm not taking any medications as...
That's not true. That's a lie. I mean, he takes other medications anyways. Yes, this is totally recorded. This is total bullshit. And again, he's wearing the same outfit. This is 2 days ago.
Probably 8 hours ago or so. I'm medication free.
Yeah. So why didn't you fly to New York, do this in studio, if you feel completely safe, you feel 100%, you feel like you could leave the hospital and...
Which frankly makes me feel good. I don't like medication.
Not according to Noel Casler.
Mr. President, if you would feel comfortable, can you tell me a little bit about the tests you had in the hospital? Did you have a CAT scan? What did that show?
Yeah, they tested the lungs. They have incredible equipment at Walter Reed. In fact...
They tested the lungs. Did they?
They said, no, you could leave your jacket on. That's the first that's ever happened. Leave your shirt.
I started to jacket off, and they were like, no, you can stop that. That's not what they were talking about.
Don't leave your jacket on. I said, I'll take it off anyway if you want.
Take off your pants and jacket.
But literally, they tested.
Leave your jacket on. You can leave your hat on. Yeah.
Lungs, they checked for the lungs, and they tested it with different machinery. They have incredible stuff that I've never even seen before.
Really? Really? Like what? What are you talking about? You mean an X-ray, a CAT scan, a MRI?
And it tested good. Initially, I think they had some congestion in there, but it tested
He sounds hashy right now.
Good. And with each day, it got better. And I think that's why they wanted me.
Hold on. Wait, why are you doing that?
Stay, frankly. But the CAT scans were amazing. The equipment was incredible. I've never seen equipment like this before.
I've never seen that, like, up close and personal shot of a cat before.
We also spoke to the president about his drive outside Walter Reed Medical Center to greet his supporters out front. A lot of the blue checks on Twitter.
I thought this was supposed to be a live interview. Wasn't that the whole story? Right?
Enraged by that. We'll show you how the president responded to their criticism next.
So you couldn't actually go to commercial? Holy shit. Yeah, okay. So they edited out the coughing. This was not a live interview. They pre-shot these questions and responses separately. No question. They go to the doctor for a full shot occasionally to come back, or when they crisscross, they can go to a shot of Trump listening where he isn't coughing. Like, this is so easy to do. Tucker Carlson tonight. This is a song I never listened to, yeah. I have a real chip on my shoulder for hosts that have, like, rock titles to their shows. A lot of right-wing radio guys do this, like Rush and stuff. They have really heavy music, which the people that listen to them might like, but they wouldn't listen to in a million friggin' years. Programming will return shortly. Take a moment for Regeneron.
You've changed.
You've changed. You're a black person supporting Donald Trump. This is, yeah.
The way you do business.
Have I?
And now, so have we.
Hi. Oh, no. I'm not going to a Cox channel. Stay where you were. I went away. Go back.
Rethink, reconnect, reimagine. Switch to Cox Business today.
Oh my God, it's so freaking loud. Holy smokes. Sorry. The ads are so much louder. Apologize.
A pandemic during a presidential election.
Oh no.
How do I register to vote?
How do I register to vote?
Can we vote by mail here?
The same way I catch a lobster.
You'll be safe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they couldn't do this interview live, Queen Faye, because they're pre-taping tomorrow's rally. They're gonna Tupac him. There's gonna be I feel great. This is totally not made after I died. Go out. Delusional Mama, I did not have a mullet in the 80s. I had the Jackie Chan cut in high school, and then I had long hair afterwards. I just grew it out. Gee, ads from Facebook. Shocker. What? No, you don't get to what? There's more Trump's propaganda and higher ratings for Tucker? Absolutely. Yeah, he will be a... Help me, MAGA. You're my only hope. What recording? The one you have inside your rusty innards. Oh, this is going to be so ridiculous. I'm Chris Wallace, and I really aggravated Donald Trump at the last thing. But I give a shit about democracy, even if he doesn't. It's in your hands. Just democracy. It's in your hands. just like a stranger's vagina in the president's. My Pearl Jam phase, I beg your pardon. I was straight up Mark Slaughter. Don't make me break out the pictures. Don't want to get dinged for showing someone else's commercials on Twitch. Right. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that that's why I'm not playing their audio. Just talking over this till it's over. Here, I'll switch back to me till they come back. That's a good idea. Nina Perino. Fox News Rundown. Election highlights. Top stories. Death. Riots. FoxNewsPodcast.com. Get them. Don't go on Apple because Tim Apple's a jerk. Did you part your hair down the middle in the 80s? I certainly did. Been seeing a lot of Chris Wallace as a Democrat lately? Yeah, no kidding. How did I ever have a perm? No, I've never had a perm. You know who Alexis Cruz is? Yeah. I don't. A lot of stuff's packed. Believe me, I will find some super long hair photos. Yeah. At home, drawing pictures of mountaintops, where I'm on top, lemon yellow sun, arms raised in a V, and dead lay in pools of maroon below. We're waiting for Trump to come back, and I'm singing alive. But I know that you got to fly. Show us your high school photo. I'll find some. More Hallie, please. I'm getting to the point where my hair is almost as long as the Hallie thing. That's the weird thing. I just have to do makeup and call it a day. I wouldn't even need the Snapchat filter. A perm in 2000 when I was 10. It looked like a Cocker Spaniel. Ouch. Patrick Swayze hair circa Roadhouse. That's not a bad thing. That's pretty good. We're big fans of Patrick Swayze around here. Some people, if you don't,
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
Okay. Oh, they're back. Hold on. First on-cam interview. Okay, so it's not live.
Dr. Siegel spoke with the president about the issues surrounding that debate just before the news broke that it won't happen at all.
Oh, yeah. So that's an important detail because that gives us 2 whole days when they could be bullshitting about when this was taped.
He also asked the president about his car ride outside Walter Reed, the one that...
And it was still fresh in his mind.
...media told you endangered his staff. It's interesting. Here's more of Dr. Siegel's interview with the president.
Could you talk to me about when you went outside Walter Reed in PPE?
Hey, look, we're both on a green screen.
The drive that you took and well-wishers and what you were thinking when you did that.
Yeah, what the fuck were you thinking?
Well, I had tremendous numbers of people. I could hear them from the hospital, and I was way up high and, this very fortified...
Enough about the drugs I was on.
...military hospital that's, built to the highest standard, and yet through these very powerful...
So a dual use of the word high as in altitude and high on the highest standard. So his brain is doing laps right now.
I could hear people screaming and shouting and with love.
Yeah, like, we're losing him, and clear, and what the fuck does this guy eat? And you give the sponge bath. They don't pay me enough. They were yelling all kinds of things.
With real love. And after...
That's what it was. It was real love. If you love me, you'll do the sponge bath. I puke easy.
2 days, I said, I want to go out and say hello to the people. And I went to Secret Service, and these are the people that are with me all.
So I was like, hey, you wouldn't happen to have a submarine on wheels I can roll by and wave at them since I can't go outside?
Time. And they said, we have no problem, sir. I said, I just want to take a drive by them and just wave. And
they have to take your order. There's not a matter. You ask and they answer. They make it happen. You say jump, they say how high. That's their job, jackass. It's weird. They didn't shut me down or anything. They're the Secret Service.
What happened? It was a great display of love out there. I don't think there was one negative person
Yeah, well, there were, but you didn't see them. Why is that? The best eyes and the best brain. You didn't manage to see the people who were saying, liberate science, for example, the sign that said that.
And there were many, many, many people, but...
Oh, yes, there will be 2 broadcasts tomorrow. Radio in the morning, and then this jackass's as live event, which they are certainly messing around with.
I don't think there was anybody negative out there. There was just, they went crazy when they saw...
Yeah, they were just going crazy. They were like, what the hell is he doing out of the hospital? He's contagious. Why is he killing his Secret Service people?
The van go by, the car go by, and...
The van go, yeah, they watched a... Was there a painting involved? The van go by? Van go by. You're going to tell us the look at that escargot joke?
The people in were protected. They were very heavily protected because at that time, I guess I would have been positive.
You guess you would have been positive. You still are.
But they were very, very protected. And they've been with me, they've been with me for a long time. And they understand. But they also thought it was...
They understand that if, they might have to take a bullet for him, even if that bullet is, let this asshole cough a disease all over you.
Very important.
It's weird that very seldom does a Secret Service person dive in front of a president, take a bullet for that person, and the bullet ricochets off them, goes all the way to their house, and kills their grandmother. See how this circumstance is ever so slightly different?
I thought it was very important to show my affection for them. They were standing out there 24 hours a day. You saw that. I mean, every time you'd be on television, you'd see them in the background. And I just thought, I love the people that...
I love the people that love me.
I love the people of this country. And
he almost went, I love the people that support me.
And I thought it would have been very disrespectful if I was there for 3...
It would be, no. It was very disrespectful to take the Secret Service, who we provide you with as taxpayers, who it wouldn't even be a day's salary, the amount of taxes you paid in 2019. It wouldn't cover their salary for the day and the equipment that they use and the food that they eat. It's disrespectful to make them ride around in a friggin' submarine so you can wave at your followers.
3.5 days, and these people are there standing late at...
His followers can't wait 3 days. If he lets them go 4 days without some sort of interaction, they'll lose interest and wander off like a dog chasing a ball.
Night early in the...
They're not claiming this is live. They're just saying they were saying it was going to be live. Now they're not saying that. They're saying first on-camera interview, which is very telling.
And I didn't go out and at least give them a little wave.
They're also not together, by the way.
And that's what I did, and I'm very glad I did it.
Mr. President, lessons...
Are the families of the Secret Service people and the 100 White House staffers that are now infected glad you did it?
Learned from this, from your own illness, that you would apply to the ship, to stewarding the ship forward in the fight in the pandemic, and how you can apply it to other...
Spit it out, dude. They've only got so much tape of him nodding.
People that have COVID-19 and how to prevent getting COVID-19. Lessons learned.
It's such a great question. I think the biggest thing...
Such a great question, especially the way it's recorded and released.
I did do it early. Now, I have such great access to medical. We have White House...
Got access to medical. Medical what? Medical treatment? Use your words, boy.
Doctor who's great, and you have so many great doctors. So
you got a doctor who's great and so many great doctors. So great, doc.
It's a lot easier for me than somebody that's doesn't have access to a doctor. So
you mean who's not the president?
Easily, where it's a big deal to see a doctor, but. Here we have them all over the White House, frankly.
Yeah, why do you have doctors all over the White House? Gee, could it be because you created a super spreader event and you've got 100 staffers who are sick and they are treating you at the White House the way you were being treated at Walter Reed just for PR reasons? What the shit?
Watching every corner.
Yeah, the doctors on every corner. Yeah, that's because you've had a series of mini strokes and now you have a contagious disease. This is, oh, God.
But I think very important for me was very early. As soon as I felt something,
Yeah, you haven't felt anything in a long time.
And, and I'm thinking about it.
You know what you didn't feel? Here's what he didn't feel. You want to know, he as soon as he felt something. You know what he didn't feel? Concern for Hope Hicks or his wife or his children or his staff or his Secret Service or the medical professionals that would be interacting with him and coming in contact with this daily pathogen. You know who he didn't feel anything for? All the people who attended Amy Coney Barrett's coming out party.
Because I see what's going on, and I have a lot of people are around me, even though there's tremendous testing, but a lot of people are around me, so I think about it. And I know there's a danger, but I can't be somebody that goes into a basement and just hides in a basement for the...
Yeah, nobody was asking you to. They were just saying wear masks, socially distance, on top of the testing, have protocols in place. You blew those off. You had a big, stupid gathering indoors and outdoors with no masks. This wasn't about, I can't, this goes back to that absolutism about shutting down the country forever. They want to shut down the country permanently. You're like, nobody is suggesting packing it in and shutting down the country permanently. What kind of a jackass even words that?
Rest of my life, I'm running a country, the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
So what
why
I
not?
think the big
If you want to
secret
spread
for
the disease
me was
to
I
people,
got there very early, and I think it would have gotten a lot worse. One of the doctors said he thought it would have gotten a lot worse.
Really? Because that's not what he's been saying to the press. They said you're fine. There's a couple things, abundance of caution. This doesn't sound like abundance of caution. This looked like they think you were going downhill.
I think that even these medications, they're a lot better if you get them early than if you get them late. It will react.
Yeah. Most medications are better to take before the disease kills you.
Probably better. So,
probably. Yeah, probably.
I think going...
Imagine if you'd been able to get treatment for your syphilis early.
In early is a big factor in my case.
Yeah. You think?
Methazone, I've given it to a lot of patients. I've given steroids to a lot of patients. Most have tolerated it well. Sometimes there's issues with anxiety or behavioral issues. Did you have any problem with that?
No, come on.
No, I didn't even know I had it. I didn't know what it was. It's a form of a steroid, but it keeps the swelling down of the lungs, as I understand it.
Yeah, the swelling of the lungs, that's what it does. Keeps your lungs swelling down.
And
most people, like all the athletes he's treated, this doctor, have all just, Doc, have you got anything for my lung swelling?
I tolerated it very well. I don't take it
You tolerated it great.
anymore, but it was...
Yeah, I don't take it anymore? I'm going to call bullshit.
Short term, during the course of the medicine, that was one of the medicines. And no, I think I tolerated it very well, Mark.
Oh, really? They stopped taking it and suddenly all caps all day long tweeting have he literally went to regular typeface, like just capitalizing a few words again.
And it keeps the swelling down.
Why would you want that?
Once it was reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
Keeps the swelling down.
And that's important.
Yeah, it is important. Keep the swelling down.
What are you taking right now as of today?
Nothing. He said nothing.
I think really nothing.
think really nothing. Not really. I mean, some stuff. Like, look at that eye flare. I think really nothing. Do you count? Do I say Adderall and Sudafed crushed with the Pervitin? Does the Pervitin count?
Pretty much finished.
Nothing prescribed.
And now we'll see how things go, but pretty much nothing. We had our final doses of just about everything. Actually, the original transfusion, that's supposed to last for about 4 months, you know, the antibodies. And I think you're supposed to be protected anywhere from 2 to 4 months, and maybe longer than that. I don't know.
Are you going to donate your own plasma?
Oh, that was a cut. That was a cut. Did you see that one?
Mr. President.
Well, I will. Nobody's asked me that.
See that cut? What'd they cut out?
Question, actually, but I will. If they want me to do it, I'd love to do it.
Are you tested? I heard you said you were going to test again today. Have you been retested?
That was another cut too.
I have been retested, and I haven't even found out numbers or anything yet, but I've been retested, and I know I'm at either the bottom of the scale or free.
Oh, it's viral load? Uh-huh. Yeah, it's pretty much, I mean, I believe that.
Your next test going to be?
I don't know. Probably tomorrow, Mark. They test every couple of days, I guess, but it's really at a level now that's been great to see it disappear.
So I have a question, and this is my own fantasy, Mr. President.
Uh-oh. This could go horribly wrong.
Of this back and forth controversy about the next debate, and if you test negative, and you've said you want it to be in person, how would you feel about a debate outside on Miami Beach?
Well, I'd have no
outside on Miami Beach in shorts.
Trouble with it at all. In fact, when we have rallies outside, we've had no problem whatsoever. Outside is
yeah, you have.
Better than inside, as you.
Rona got it at one of your rallies. Ask Herman Cain about your rallies.
With this crazy thing that's gone on. But I would have no problem with it. But, you know, we've always had a problem with this commission. This commission's been ridiculous.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, nobody else has ever had this problem before, but thank you, Debbie.
Who wants to do a debate on a computer?
I know. Who would want to sit there with their computer rolling, take what the other person says, cut it to pieces, and make their point in charming and humorous ways, in a way that endears an audience? Who would want to even do such a thing? Seems terrible. I don't even know.
I don't.
No, well, I know you don't. It's about, you know, skill and capability. It's not that I don't think you would. It's just that I think you can't. But please continue.
You know, virtual.
Why are you in the same clothes for 3 days straight?
Debate. No, you got to be there. We did great in the last debate. You gotta
be free.
Be there. You have to see the person. You can't do it on a computer. Besides that.
Why?
You know, Joe has a tendency to get the answers and read them off a computer for when he's asked questions. So I'd rather.
So, well, let's have a standard that shows that you aren't. He hasn't had to do that so far.
I would love to do it outside. Would be fine as far as I'm concerned.
Where
would you have a problem understanding which way to face? Would you do it facing the water?
You think you got the virus? At what point do you think you contracted it? Looking back.
You know, I don't know. They had some big events at the White House, and
oh, did they? Guys, that's probably what did it. Those people, them, these, you know, those, they, who is they? I don't know. Them. They had some events at the White House.
Perhaps there. I don't really know. Nobody really knows for sure.
No one knows. I mean, honestly, I could have caught it from an angel.
People have contracted it, but, you know, people have contracted it all over the world. It's highly contagious.
Have you been all over the world?
That's one thing you learn. This is a contagious disease.
Yeah, really? That's the one thing he's learned since he caught it? That it's contagious? There's an insight here that I don't think most of us respect. We don't have enough, you guys don't pay enough attention. Understand what this man is telling you. That the one thing he's really learned from a disease he caught is that, you can catch it.
And generally you get better from it, but
Generally, some people don't.
So now have medicines that will help a lot. And if you look at mortality rate, I think it's up 95 or 85%, Mark. I think you've seen that. You pointed it out to me.
Down, not up.
What we're doing now with the medicines and all of the things is incredible.
Oh, my God. Donald Trump, just on live television-ish, live, just said that the mortality rate is up 95%.
But, you know, especially younger people, I wish they'd open schools. I hope they open schools. Some of the states are closed, and the cure is worse than the problem itself in many cases. It's
no, it isn't.
Terrible thing.
Mr. President, a final message from you to America about what they can learn from your illness and your recovery, which many would say is inspiring. A final message.
Well, I think if I've got a message for anybody, hold on. I think the most important message is...
I feel no shame, only pride, because my syphilis is a badge of honor.
Oh, wrong message. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just have such great respect for the doctors and...
Yeah, they're great. I heard you have a great doctor, and other doctors are great.
Labs, scientists, the people that work on this.
Labs, scientists, science-y people, sciencing all the time. There's so much of the labbing that they do, and that we have the best labbing.
Incredibly well. I have incredible respect and love for the families that have suffered so badly. This is something that...
They held up a piece of paper for him to look at.
Came to us out of...
There you go. They're holding up another one.
I don't know. I won't be able to tell you yet. Maybe at some point I'll be able to report exactly why it came to us, but it came out of China. It shouldn't have happened.
What does that mean? So he wasn't able to read the piece of paper they were trying to show him to get him to say a certain thing or stay on topic. He glanced down at it but didn't grasp what it was, so he decided to pull something out of his ass. What is he going to tell us in the future as to why the virus came from China, other than the fact that it's a highly contagious disease? If he learned one thing, it's that it's contagious, but China sent it over and they could have stopped it. Well, apparently not, honestly. The White House couldn't keep the president from getting it.
They should have never let it happen, but they suffered plenty also, far more than people understand.
So they didn't send a bioweapon. It was an accident. What are you talking about?
But this is something that should not have been allowed to. They should not have allowed this to come out to the world. Not only.
Why did your White House allow it to get to you? I mean, I think that's got to be the big question on everyone's mind, right? Right? Thank you, Arslyn. You know what I mean? Like
the United States to the world.
Sure.
But I have such respect for the people that have suffered, and
why?
Sympathies to
why do you have such respect for the people who have suffered? You have such sympathy for the people who have suffered. That's where he's going to get to. Again, I haven't watched this at all, but yeah. If you the respect thing, he had that for like doctors and all that kind of stuff, and he's just folding the language over into the next thing.
Those families that have been so horribly hurt.
Oh, quit it.
And just horribly hurt. And
hold on. Why is this? I'm not hearing the audio on this because of my mic thing again. Give me 1 second. There we go.
Again, the respect for the doctor and for the tech.
Quit it. God's sake, man. Dun, dun, dun. Give me 1 second.
And for the.
What are you doing? Hold on. I've got audio issues for me. So you can hear it and I can't hear it, and that's weird when that happens. So I'm fixing it real quick. Hi, how are you? Yeah. I love live TV with the thing and doing it live every day of the night. All right. Let's do this real quick. Let's turn off this little thing. Not do that. Okay, there we go. And then we'll see, is this playing?
Scientists.
Nope. God damn it. Speak to me. Check, check.
Is incredible because I've seen what they've done. And
let's try this real quick. I'm gonna try the MacBook speakers real quick. I know it'll double up on the audio. I apologize. So maybe wake it up.
It's incredible the job that they've done in a short period of time. Over a 6-month period, the job that they've done is incredible. And you'll see that very soon with the medicines and with the vaccines.
Sure.
Mr. President, I really appreciate that last answer and the interview, and I want to tell you how much it means to us that you appeared for your first on-camera interview tonight on Tucker Carlson tonight.
Yeah, not live, but yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. It's my great honor. Thank you.
Might be my last interview ever. So
there's more than an interview. If you're interested, you can catch it tonight on Shannon Bream's show, the unaired portions, at 11 Eastern, right here on Fox.
Oh, are they going to air the coughs as well?
Well, up next,
why are there more of it on Shannon Bream's show? Yikes. That's a good look for Tucker, by the way. I mean, I look silly when I'm frozen like everybody else does, but you know, that's pretty much Tucker's real face right there. Even the play button in front of his cheek, like that's pretty much how he lives. I'm trying to finish building my local voter video while I listen to HalSparks and watch Chris Hayes. That's a good, it's a good pastime, sure. Tonight, yeah, on Tucker Carlson. So that was fun. Can we just understand that what we just watched was pre-taped, heavily edited, a bunch of horseshit, and we missed the top of it. I don't know if there was much more to it other than kind of ingratiated stuff. I can't see them like allowing that there's going to be probably, okay, there you go. I built a 4K editing computer. Ooh, that looks exciting. Thanks, David. And by the way, thanks everybody for the where is it? It's over here. The Venmos. Thank you so much. That's really awesome. That's been really terrific. Those of you that used to super chat on YouTube before I was put in YouTube jail, it's a great way to contribute. Pretty easy. You just hold your phone up and you can take a picture of that thing. You don't have to take the picture. Your phone should automatically do it. It'll take you to the site and you can send me $1 or $5 or a hello. That's a lovely thing. It's pretty easy, actually. Have we been to, are we going to look up, are they interviewing anyone at Ottawa? Yes, he will be gone in a month. Yes, this is going to be crazy. It's supposed to be live. Why is Dumpy in the Sun? They pre-taped it. That's what they're saying, and they're going to spread it out over two different. They spread it out over a couple of different interviews, so that you don't notice that the interview was very heavily edited and redacted. Let's see. Yeah. Ottawa, Zimbabwe. That's where he says she was raised. Yeah. Ottawa. How in the world? All right. By the way, thanks Paul and everybody who's shared the broadcast today on their social media situations. Remind everybody, I keep forgetting these days because we've been running and gunning it so much and there's been so much going on. To remind everybody to subscribe at the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/HalSparks. September is over, but to be a subscriber on Twitch, you have to re-up it every month. It's not automatic, and it should be a little button you click. It shouldn't be hard, but you have to, redo it. And thanks to everybody who's been gifting subs to people. It's beautiful, and I appreciate it. It's a great way to contribute, as long as, along with bits and all that other stuff. So I appreciate that. And I thank you for sharing the show. And everybody who gets, kind of, bunched up in all this and worries about not having any funds or whatever, don't worry about that too much. I appreciate even the thought and the effort in that regard. But let's see, let's see. Oh, thanks, Bev. I think my hair looks pretty good right now too. Even Wallace, do we have trolls in here? That's such a sad thing to see. I mean, I appreciate the trolls over there on Facebook. You pad my numbers, and we love that. And no one takes you seriously, but that's life. And hey, it's either that or blowing strangers for candy bars and spare change. I mean, it's hard for you guys to make a buck. I get it. But in the interim, you know, good luck. Does Ali live at 30 Rock? Oh, like Ali Velshi? Yeah. Some of them have been locked in that building and pretty much staying there the whole time. That's true. But Ali Velshi was out, you know, chasing hurricanes and stuff. So, but merci de rien, pas de problème. Moi aussi. Thanks, Craig. I appreciate you guys jumping in here. That was an interesting little bit there. I think we can all agree that let's see if I want to see if it's come up on Twitter. If anybody started, if he's done if he's posting any of his live stuff. Look at that. Sanford, Florida on Monday is gonna have a big rally. Oh my God, he's now retweeting Dinesh D'Souza on his site. A felon, by the way. And then he's got clips. This is really weird. He's retweeting right now. Yeah, he's retweeting stuff from his interview with Rush.
For the privilege of not paying for bad health insurance. You understand that,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So I got rid of it. And I got rid of it through the law. I got rid of it in our tax decrease. We got the biggest tax decrease in the history of our country.
You mean a tax cut? Is that the word you're looking for? The tax crease. Jesus. Then, you know, I'm guessing they didn't leave the F-bomb in.
Years ago, even in the midst of pandemic.
Right.
There's another part of that poll when they ask people after the, you know, who do you think's gonna win and how do you think when they ask people, who do you think is actually going to be elected president? You are the
by a lot.
By a lot.
Yeah, out of fear. Not because they want it to happen. Breaking news, 50,000 Ohio voters getting wrong absentee ballots, out of control, rigged election. Why are supposedly these people all Republicans in his mind? I love when he throws enjoy on the end of his interviews. He always does that. He throws enjoy. I will be on the show. Enjoy. That's the old trick they put on cookies, like a cookie mix. They put on, you know, that have any kind of refund to them. They'll go, you know, if you don't enjoy these cookies, send them back, you know, for a full refund. As long as you followed all the instructions and stuff, you cooked them right, it will give you your money back, because it's not, you know, if you did it all and they still weren't good, send us, we'll give you your money back. And then you find that in the instructions on how to bake the cookies, at the very end it says, let's sit for 2 minutes, cool and enjoy. So enjoy is actually in the instructions. So if you didn't enjoy it, you didn't follow the instructions, therefore the refund is null and void. That's basically what you're seeing there. If you want your money back because you didn't enjoy his interview with Rush Limbaugh, you're SOL because he told you to enjoy it. There's 3 exclamation points. Enjoy! He doesn't realize it's enjoy! Still using this picture. Okay. I mean, honestly. Yeah. President says he feels really good, really strong in remote televised health assessment performed on Fox News by Dr. Mark Siegel, a frequent Fox News contributor. Yeah, that's what we watched that, but for God's sake, the man is ill. They cut around it. He had a couple of throat gravel moments as well during that. And I would like to say for the record, the key point in this, and I think the one that stands out the most, besides the fact that he's obviously been in front of a green screen a bunch of times the last few days, is he's wearing the same goddamn clothes. He's that more than anything. More than any other factor. That's the part I think that the rest of us are really weirded out about. Because it's the same tie, same jacket, same shirt he's been wearing for days. So How does he have 87 million followers on Twitter? Well, he's the president of a country of 340 million people. There's a lot of people who follow him because they support him. There's also a lot of people who follow him for news. There's also a lot of people who, there are tons of bot followers that he has. He lost 20 million followers when they broomed a bunch of bots out on his channel. I want to see if they...
Love to do it.
Are you tested? I heard you said you were going to test again today. Have you been retested?
I have been retested, and I haven't even found out numbers.
That's his, I don't know, but what's the lie again?
Anything yet, but I've been retested, and I know I'm at either the bottom of the scale or free.
When is your next?
That was a cut, too. That was an interesting, I'm at the bottom of the scale or free, and then hard cut. Jesus.
Love to do it.
I'd love to do it. I just did it, and I want to do it again. Yeah, this is super weird. Let me see if I can. I wanted to see if he actually comes up on the on those. Let's see. Trump on. Whoops. I'll do like see if he's on camera. Interview. See if that comes up and starts chasing this thing while we're hanging out. Oh, that's fun. We missed that part at the beginning. Hold on, check this out. This is Aaron Rupar breaks these things down. He's pretty great. If he's worth a follow if you ever give it a chance.
Friday, like when you went into Walter Reed, what were the two most prominent symptoms that you had?
I think didn't feel strong. Didn't feel really strong. I didn't have a problem with breathing, which a lot of people seem to have. I had none of that. But I didn't feel very strong. I didn't feel very vital. I didn't feel like the president of the U.S. should feel.
Huh? First of all, thank you, Carly. Sorry, Carrie Likes Coffee. I ran that all together. Thank you, Carrie Likes Coffee. I'll have to spend some adult time with my husband without our two teenagers. Well, hello.
And
yeah, the having the Sanford, Florida gathering is not an accident.
There was something a little bit.
Just the dog whistle tour. Hold on, I got to bring the volume on this down so I don't drive you guys crazy.
And the doctors at Walter Reed were incredible. They came from Johns Hopkins. They came from everywhere. It's good to be president, I guess. But
yeah, it is. You know, it's almost like you look at it. Hold on, wait. Look at how this asshole smiles when they say this. Here, we'll back up. Check this.
I think didn't feel strong. Didn't feel really strong. I didn't have a problem with breathing, which a lot of people seem to have. I had none of that, but I didn't feel very strong. I didn't feel very vital. I didn't feel like the president of the U.S. should feel.
I didn't have any.
And I knew there was something a little bit off. And the doctors at Walter Reed were incredible. They came from Johns Hopkins. They came from everywhere. It's good to be president, I guess, but they were really great people.
Yeah, it's totally good. I mean, it's absolutely.
It's good to be the king.
Were you scared?
But I would say more weakness than anything else, Mark.
More weakness than anything else. He admits to having a sore throat later.
Well, Regeneron.
Frightened. Were you scared? Were you frightened?
Well, I took the Regeneron, and Eli Lilly makes a similar.
So they separated these questions, and he just didn't want to answer it, so he just answered something else.
Similar medicine, but you have Regeneron, you have the Eli Lilly version of it, and it just within a period of 24 hours, I felt very different. I think I could have left the hospital a lot earlier.
No, you can't. That's not how treatment works, dummy.
But it made a tremendous difference, Mark, and markedly so. And I just felt very good. You would have sort of a sore throat.
Okay, so you just felt weak before. Now, and you didn't have any breathing problems. But now we have. Hold on. Let me grab something real quick before I. Okay. You have maybe what? You have a little bit of a sore throat when you do?
To add to what we were saying, but but I felt really very, very good after taking this for a period of time.
What was the period of time? What was the how much?
Transfusion, not a shot.
Oh, okay, well that's good. I thought it was a shot. I was gonna like, no way. But if it's a transfusion, that's totally different.
Free. I'm not. And right now I'm medication free. I'm not taking any medications as of, probably 8 hours ago or so. I'm medication free, which frankly makes me feel good. I don't like medication.
We've been through most of this or whatever. Yeah, so they're basically dialing in the bottom of the scale are free. Yeah, this was the part that that stuck with me too, that he said about China. This whole business about, I don't know.
About what they can learn from your illness and your recovery, which many would say is inspiring. A final message.
I just have such great respect.
Sorry if it's too loud. It changes on every clip. I apologize. There you go.
For the doctors and labs, scientists, the people that work on this, they're doing incredibly well. I have incredible respect and love for the families that have suffered so badly. This is something that came to us out of, I don't know, I won't be able to tell you yet. Maybe at some point I'll be able to.
And this is like, it came to us, why? Like, is he basically insinuating again that it was a bioweapon, but they're not sure?
Exactly why it came to us, but it came out of China. It shouldn't have happened. They should have never let it happen. But they suffered plenty also, far more than people understand. But this is something that should not have been allowed to, they should not have allowed this to come out to the world, not only to the United States, to the world. But I have such respect for the people that have suffered, and my sympathies to those families that have been so horribly hurt and just horribly hurt.
Oh, both horribly hurt and horribly hurt. Guys, both, whether your family was horribly hurt or horribly hurt.
And again, the respect for the doctors and for the technicians and for the scientists is incredible, because I've seen what they've done. And it's incredible the job that they've done in a short period of time. Over a 6-month period, the job that they've done is incredible. And you'll see that very soon with the medicines and with the vaccines.
It's weird. Okay, I finished that statement. Now sit up a little.
Mr. President, I really appreciate that last answer and the interview, and I want to tell you how much it means to us that you appeared for your first on-camera interview tonight on Tucker Carlson tonight. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. It's my great honor.
Totally. It's my great honor. I mean, I feel like you guys, we saw something tonight that I think, nothing could really dampen the power and the majesty of that gathering that at all, oh shit. That's no good. Nobody could have seen that coming. Nobody even thought about that. Nothing like this has ever happened in a long time. Oh, do we have a kitten? No? Yeah. That's cool. Well, you won't be able to see it in the camera because the light's too big. But there's Biden-Harris hair fly pins.
I told her if she wants to sell them, I'd
yeah.
let you know.
Yeah, I'll tweet it out. Absolutely. Summer says hi. Oh, the tip jar. Beg your pardon. I haven't even been doing the tip jar because I've been talking to you guys. But thanks for the Venmos. Yay! Yeah. Don't. No pressure. We're gonna try and we should end the show on a good sign with you guys. And so we're gonna try and bring down one of the feral Fosters. So we got 3 of them. They're all a little. They're acclimating. I cannot speak to whether or not this one will just straight up start biting me and fitzing and freaking out, or if it will make the pass person to person well or not. But we will do our best, and we are trying to soften them into our environment and make them. So we found the super spreaders. Yeah, no shit. 2 students and a teacher at a school attended by Barrett children test positive for the coronavirus. This is an example of her judgment appearing at this event and bringing her children, and his judgment in picking someone who would have this kind of crappy thing. Now, he looks like he's giving a press conference on how dick pics ended up in his kid's lunchbox. And she looks like she's staring into the great beyond after realizing that she just sent a proof of life video and she thought it was a Tinder profile. I love these reporters. The Washington Post, I'm just saying, Tom Hamburger and Beth Reinhardt, which, Reinhardt, interestingly enough, is German for hamburger. I'm kidding. There's no German word for hamburger. A private school in South Bend, Indiana, attended by some of the children of President Trump's nominee to the U.S. Supreme Court, Amy Conehead Barhop, notified parents late Thursday that 2 students and a teacher walked into a bar, had tested positive for the novel coronavirus. The emails from the Trinity School, oh God, came less than 2 weeks, so praying it away didn't work. Came less than 2 weeks after the Barrett family was honored at the White House. Less than 2 weeks. That's about the window, wouldn't you say? Hi, Murph. You okay? She's bringing a kitten down. Don't flip out. Murphy is crying. Now we're past the regular show. We're in the hangout meet cats portion, so you're free to go. We understand that this sort of situation can create uncertainty, the school principal, John A. Lee, wrote. Not the Lee, but A. Lee. However, we have been assured at this point that the risk of exposure for other individuals at Trinity School who were not identified as close contacts is no greater than the risk of getting the virus in the general community, except for the part of the general community doesn't have actual COVID traceable strains. Oh, look, how weird that this gathering would result in a bunch of people getting it. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. White House official who spoke on the condition of anonymity, which I think there's a missing like Trump book in there. Some like, I think condition of anonymity is going to be my okay, I'm going to speak very quietly. Got a kitten coming in. We're going to lower our voice. We're going to see if the kitty makes it. Should I stand up and take her? When is it? Okay. There you go. There you go. Jack's been a little under the weather. Hi, Jack. You're good. Yeah. So this is Jack, everybody. Hi, Jack. You're okay. Jack is adorable and has had a little bit of a belly problem. They've had this, there you go. But they're all, even though they flip out and even though they're a little bit, hi, Murph. Don't come in because you'll flip out. I know, Murph. We'll do you next. But this little one, Jack, is a very nervous little kitty. Super cute. All of them are cuddlers. All of them nuzzle. All of them are great. But when you first pick them up, they're very nervous. So we've been slowly but surely indoctrinating them into loving humans. Mm-hmm. Yep, they've all been broken. People call it getting them fixed, but in my estimation, it already worked. You take something that works and make it not work anymore. You didn't fix it, you broke it. So let's be honest. Be honest. Yeah. Jack, you're a good kitty. Jack is very sweet. He's also very nervous. So, little chin scratch. Now, I understand you might barf on me. That's okay. So we've got 3 of these right now. Yeah. Thanks, Cosmic Rose. The heads up. Yeah. So Jack is doing okay, but she's got a little bit of a belly issue right now. More slowly but surely. Yeah. Calming down. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, she's okay. Not shaking. Nope. Just relaxed. Just kind of. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. What's this place? What's this room? What's going on? You're okay. Yeah. Look at this. Yeah, they all look like this. They're all, one's taller and skinnier, but yeah, there's two more that are. You deliver the strays for adoption. Yes, that's what we get them ready to get forever homes. Jack is a very beautiful cat, but he has a bit of a tummy problem right now. Yeah. I know. Yeah, there she is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to freak him out, Murph. Murph just wants to go into the bathroom. I'm going to give you back to Mama, and she's going to take you back upstairs. I'm going to stand up to do this exchange so you don't freak out. And I'm going to pick up Murphy, and I'm going to smell like you, and he's going to hiss and freak out. That's how it's going to work. Here you go. Hold on. Make the transfer. Very sweet. Here you go. Here you go. Good job. Murph in the bathroom? Mm-hmm. Murph, where are you? Why are you laying on the bathroom? Come here. I know. Come here. Oh, my gosh. Look at you, big boy. Look at this big boy. Why are you in the bathroom? You just hanging out on the rug because you're the same color as the rug? What is happening? Murphy? I know. Tell me a story. Let's talk. What did you think about the Trump interview? No, you weren't impressed? Are you going to vote? Are you registered? Are you concerned about it? I just need to know. I know. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know. You're on my bathroom floor. You're in the show, Murph. I know. I know. Okay, well, I'm going to hold you up like this then. I know, but what happened? What were you doing in there? Why were you crawling? You want down? Because you're on my floor. You're a big kitty. Okay, here you go, Murph. Yeah, Murph gets pissed, but he's fine. Come here. Come here. He's a big boy. Here, hop down. No, you can't. You don't jump down and then want pets. That's not, what the hell is going on? What are you talking about, Murph? What am I, honestly? What? Well, I'm working. What are you doing? How are you paying the rent? What happened? Okay, fine. Leave me. That's how it works. All right. Yeah, we're not. Murph is a good boy. He's a good boy. He's very lovey, but a little weird. And he's very talkative. And if you move at all during the night, he will start meowing because you're not giving him attention. Like you just turn over and it's suddenly wow, 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 wow. How do I find Hal on Venmo to send money? There's that little thing. You can take a picture of it up there. If you hold your phone up and look at it, that thing above my head, we'll do it. In theory. So yeah, Murphy has more dignity doing a shaky shit than Trump delivery has. This is true. He's a cat. He does what he wants. Sort of. What do you need, babe? Okay. Those are organized into an entire setup over here. Hold on. Excuse me 1 second while we do a little home organizational stuff. Or did I put them over on the other side? Oh, no, here they are. Yep, I was right. A whole drawer of ties for strings. And these are all fresh and don't have cat hair in them. Those were the ones that I pulled off. But okay, well then yeah. All right, there. Okay, take a few. There you go. Excellent. Look at that. See, because I'm over there. I got some level of organization happening here. Oh, God, I need some WD-40 for these drawers. And then we're fine. Hi, welcome back. Hi, welcome. I know that sound. Yes, you do. It's the good old IKEA hinges, or the drawer sliders, rather. Murphy also stomps Hal a lot. Yes, he does. He nut stomps me constantly. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. I think my comedy about the Trump years, which will only allude to a fake president, and we'll pretend it wasn't him, is going to be called Condition of Anonymity, and it's going to be like a comedy version of the Pelican Brief. You know what I mean? Like undercover, like the whole point is you want to be an anonymous source, so that's this guy's dream in life. So he keeps trying to listen in on shit. And one thing, I just want to be an anonymous source so I can watch it on TV. I think it's a great idea for a movie. I really do. Yeah. Never has somebody wanted to be nobody so badly. I mean, the movie writes itself. Am I not a genius? Copyright just this second, trademark HalSparks. Because that's funny. Condition of anonymity. Never has someone wanted to be nobody so badly. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Said to check your... Oh, okay. Audio Girl John, thank you so much. Hold on. That's an interesting piece of news. Hold on one second. It will pop up on there. In checking my watch, that's why I'm not getting it, because my phone died. I'm sorry. I will check. Absolutely. Thank you so much ahead of time already. Adore you. Thank you. I'll go plug my phone in because the show should be over anyways. I actually think that's a great idea for a movie that I just came up with. Honest to God. Like, that would be funny. That's a good, I should call Happy Madison. This fall on CBS, The Anonymous Source. Yeah. I like Condition of Anonymity just because it seems so overly dignified for something ridiculous. Barrett's children have tested negative, never showed symptoms, and were kept out of school after revelations that some who attended the White House ceremonies had tested. After revelations that some who attended the White House ceremonies had tested positive. After... The official did not specify how long the children stayed home, but said the school approved their return to the classroom. So they had, they carried it around. Now they've tested negative after the fact, but yeah. The teacher, Tom Ditz. God damn it. That has to be my character's name in Condition of Anonymity. I mean, honestly, is there a better character name for my character? This article is going to be the linchpin of an entire film. Tom Ditz. Not exactly someone, as far as teacher's names goes, that would instill you with confidence. I mean, come on. Yeah, the kids were at the Rose Party. They were at that big... I mean, honestly. Their teacher's name, Tom Ditz. He didn't comment. He's got COVID. She brought her children to this. In the middle of she caught it, by the way. She didn't dodge it. She got sick. They didn't say how long ago. She may have still been a long hauler or carrying it around. She may have been the actual access point. But she brought her children to this. See all these people? Like the ones wearing masks are like, I'm going to at least do the baseline protocol. I'm going to do this because it's a good idea, either for election purposes or because I really believe it, one or the other. She didn't do anything. She's sick. He's out of the picture. That's Bill Barr. He's been out of sight for a while. Chris Christie's been in the hospital for a week. Yeah. So you brought your children to this event where, like, that lady knows what the threat is. She's worried. She's got a big visor on, so she doesn't spit it on anybody. She's conscientious. That guy has it. That means that everybody else here has either had it because they're stupid, or doesn't think they're going to get it, or thinks it's no big deal, and if they pass it to somebody else and that person dies, it's God's will. Like, that's what she thinks. Kushner's over on the other side. This doesn't show the front of the... I think they actually have an interaction.
President Trump announced that he tested positive for coronavirus on October 2nd. The president formally introduced his Supreme Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, just
So I
days
think they
earlier
might
during
show...
the September
This might be the
26th
video where they
Rose
show...
Garden ceremony. Several of the attending audience
folks,
members have
like they
since also
outline them.
tested
Like
positive
Midas
for the
Touch did a
virus.
great video
Here
that
are
shows...
some key moments and interactions from the event.
Key moments. Here's a key moment. I got a key moment for you. All these assholes sitting elbow to elbow, breathing each other's air in a line. Yeah, there you go. Uh-huh. But they're just going to carry that back to their states. Have we had any actual word on Pence testing positive? This asshole. Like it's like he's trying to give it to everybody. Hey, I snotted in my mask. I thought I'd wipe it on your elbow, Mike. Who does that? Did you see what that jackass just did? He had his mask face side up like this in his hand, and he tapped the dude's elbow with it. That's friggin' disgusting. It's like snapping somebody with your snot rag. Well, yeah. These assholes. Oh, so Pence is officially negative? Well, he was earlier, but that doesn't mean he's not getting sick and will test positive. Let me go over here and talk to everybody since I'm the press sec. Hey, touch me. Hey, touch you. Hey, you touch me. I just touched him, you touch me. That's Alex Azar. He's in charge of a lot of this stuff. Fist bumps. Thank you very much. I'm near here. She has it. She's sitting next to Barrett's children. They're sitting right behind him. Lindsay's sick? Yeah. Well, he refused the COVID test. But I don't think he wanted to do the debate since he ate shit last time. So, yeah. Anyways, so like that's indicative of how seriously they take it. They don't care. And a lot of this they've started operating under the premise that this is a herd immunity strategy at this point. This is, yeah. So, anyways, and of course, the big one we'll leave you guys on is, of course, that the Trump's cure that he took, that he's touting, Regeneron, which is REGN-CoV2, is actually the name of the drug that he took, which is was created using aborted fetal tissue. So that's fun. Without abortion and donated fetal tissue from children who may not have survived outside of the womb, specifically, meaning specifically late-term abortions, that drug would not exist. And according to Donald Trump, he would be dead. So maybe I'm against abortion entirely in every form now. No, I'm kidding. So the irony is I'm curious how the pro-lifers themselves react to that particular reality. And that a good portion of the vaccines that were given use them as well to test their efficacy and the danger that they pose to human cells. So, and check how it, before they start injecting it into people, what reaction, what cellular damage they could possibly do. I don't think they'll care. I think their heart, they're hypocrites. Obviously, they're pro-war. They don't care about nuking Iran back in the Bronze Age. As if they're in any city we would strafe bomb in a war, there aren't pregnant women walking around. they wouldn't bat an eye. I mean, most of these people wanted us to nuke Iraq completely after 9/11, even though the attackers didn't come from there. And they didn't seem to care through shock and awe if it meant women and children were going to be killed in this process. And part of the reason why the Obama administration didn't get the last 4% of the ISIS caliphate was because it was the areas wherein there were lots more non-ISIS, non-combatant civilians. And the reason the Trump administration finished that up is because they didn't care. Civilian deaths were up 80% in 1 year over the entirety of the Obama administration. 80% more non-combatant deaths, civilian deaths in Iraq and in the surrounding area, in Afghanistan, Syria, and the surrounding area where we were going after the caliphate. Civilian deaths were up 80% in 1 year compared to the entirety of the Obama administration. Civilian deaths. Not the number of ISIS fighters killed. That's interesting. The number of ISIS fighters killed was not up 80% because there was only 4% of them left in this area, you know. It was the civilian deaths that spiked, not the death of ISIS fighters. So, pro-life. And of course, pro-life to these folks doesn't mean pro-living or pro-child. It's obviously a child. It's not a child's fault if they're born to a drug-addicted parent or even just a straight-up loser. You know, but the kid's got to learn a tough lesson. Got to, how he's going to learn self-reliance. He doesn't, fend for himself. Now that he's born, he's on his own. So, the 80% fat food dolly, that 80% stat was one of the biggest stats that hit at the end of the first year of the Trump administration. We talked about it on the radio for weeks. Thanks, Merber. Thank you so much. Thanks to all the new patrons. I appreciate it, you guys. Thanks for jumping in there and helping us out. We're going to hit that 500 mark one day. We are. I know. We're at 381. It's so close. But we got to grow naturally. I want this to be organic, and I don't want anybody to feel pressured to do it. And it doesn't help if we get there and then immediately drop back because we hit some sort of, artificial line and then fall back. It's got to be consistent, measurable, and supportive. And you guys can take your own time doing that. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the radio show, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time on WCPT Radio. I also live stream it. I will be streaming it, regularly like I do. On all your various social media platforms. But I will also, tomorrow afternoon, since Trump is allegedly doing this live event where they're gonna two-pack him in. Nicole, that's a good point. They are pro-forced birth. They're very much for the woman being the broodmare of the state. By the way, one of the ways that you would lower the number of abortions by an enormous amount is prosecuting sex crimes to the fullest extent of the law. This is, the rape and incest exception that is part of the law would be less of a consideration if and when rapists went to jail for the capital level crime that it is. Meaning that I think rape and sexual assault are the equivalent morally and ethically and legally, they are the equivalent of attempted murder. Never mind the fact that a lot of women who are sexually assaulted their physical person is in danger. But if you want to say that like women shouldn't have an exception if they are raped, then do something about the backed up rape kits. That would be one of the ways that you would mitigate these situations. Also pass stronger stalker laws and eliminate the ability to own a gun or a deadly weapon by anybody who's been convicted of or cited or is under a current legal order to stay back from a partner if for domestic violence or abuse. Because one of the scary ideas that, you know, abortion gives a woman the protection from is the idea that if you're only going to give somebody 5 years for rape or 6 years for rape, that some nutcase would feel they could rape their way into a woman's life. If you get her pregnant and she has to carry the child to term, she can't get RU 486, she can't the day after get a morning after drug to make sure that she doesn't have a child or she doesn't become pregnant when she turns you in, then if she has to carry that baby to term, you're in her life forever. It's a control point. And the protection of that right is the only thing that would dissuade that person from thinking that they could use that as a strategy to make you stay in their life forever. Because there have been cases where guys get out of jail for sexual assault and then seek co-parenting rights from the woman. And now this woman has to deal with that person forever? No. It's a capital crime. It's on level with attempted murder. It is the same moral and ethical line. Keep it at that. Then, so prove to me you're going to do something about rape and incest. Prove to me, and also, guess what? No capital punishment. Because if you're going to say pro-life, you can't kill anybody. If you have a gun for self-defense, you're probably going to have 6 shots or less. If you're still shooting after that, you're probably firing on cops or soldiers or people at a mall who are just eating. So again, you can be pro-life and pro-self-defense. There's an argument there. But a 60-round magazine or 2 30-round magazines taped together, you're not pro-life. Get out of here. So, obviously that's part of the standard. If they were really pro-life, they would do all of these things along with trying to change the law to limit abortion or stop it. But they don't. Because it's about controlling women. It's not about the life of the fetus or the baby or the child when it grows or the safety of women or men or families or God's choice. All their arguments are garbage. Otherwise, they would do all these other things as well, which they do not. That's the problem. Anyways, you guys are awesome. I'm going to let you go. I got to go eat something, pet some cats, see if these guys are all right. And I will, the other 2 ferals. And we'll bring them in. We'll bring them in, rotation if they calm down and that kind of thing. But until tomorrow, bright and early, I'll see you guys on the radio show. Johnny Million will be joining us. And we'll be covering the news of the week as you do. Cheers, everybody. Much love. See you later. Real quick, folks, since I'm ending, I'm gonna raid a friend's Twitch site, so if you find yourself in their chat room, that's why. So there we go. Hold on, I gotta do this, and if you don't want to do it, that's fine. But I haven't done much of this, and I'm gonna give it a try. This is Alicia Marie. She's she's amazing at like cosplay and costume stuff. It's really incredible. She's really nice. So I guess she's online, so we'll surprise her. So Fable 42, they're doing Dungeons and Dragons over there. They're playing, it's a group of them playing Dungeons and Dragons. So you don't have to stay, but you can hop over there and just say, HalSparks says hi. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.